Hello, everyone, and welcome to this very special RP Geeks one-shot screen. Woo!
This is a screen. You are watching us on a screen, unless you're listening to the podcast.
Stream slash video slash podcast.
Stop. Everyone stop. I haven't pressed record.
Oh, come on, Murray.
It's because we normally have the intro and I normally remember to do it at some point in that.
I assumed that, okay. I didn't realise I was supposed to be recording on my side.
You're not. No, you're not.
Okay.
You're not.
Yes,
You're not.
Emily,
It's just me. Ali,
Right.
can I have permission, please?
I mean, to be fair, we can now just keep this rolling.
Recording in progress.
Recording in progress.
Recording in progress.
Hello, start over.
Recording in progress. I can't really do it. I'm trying.
It's
Right,
doing it on
sorry.
the in-breath.
Start
That's
from
the
the
key
beginning.
bit.
Start from the beginning.
Is that all right with you if I start from the beginning?
For the
No.
sake of Twitch, should we just go back to the beginning screen again?
No, this is happening.
Oh, is this on Twitch? Sorry. Oh, yeah, of course. Just keep going. But
Just
the
keep going,
podcast
roll
and
with
everything
it.
will start here.
We'll cut it
Oh,
out.
no.
It's fine.
Sorry,
Professionals. What was anyone
Flip. So
expecting?
sorry. Wow.
Time travel.
Okay, never mind. Oh,
Yeah, we'll go
God.
back in the future and change this. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good plan.
Editing.
Good plan. Hello.
Editing.
We'll change that too in the future. Right? I'll write a post-it note of the things
Yeah.
we need to change.
Yeah.
Write these down.
Post-it.
We need to fix these.
Oh,
please.
are we coming back as future us to change all these
Yeah.
bits?
Yeah, don't worry.
Technically,
we'll
yes.
find.
Yes,
That's what
once we
editing
get
is,
the time
right?
machine.
I guess that is
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this very special RP Geeks one-shot stream. Today, we are playing the mind-meltingly clever one-shot time heist by Chloe Master at Roll Flip Draw. We are, as some of you may know, the RP Geeks. That's myself, Shamini, Emily Bates, Simon Clark, and Ali Jennings. And we are very excited to be joined today by a very special guest. Nathan, would you please introduce yourself?
Hi, everybody. How you doing? I'm the androgynous android game show host from the future, Nathan Blades, tabletop RPG designer, streamer, voice actor, and general internet ne'er-do-well. Pleasure to meet you.
Oh my God.
Sorry, your voice.
That's amazing.
I have a new
They
career
are-
aspiration.
Yeah.
On the internet ne'er-do-well.
They are indeed all of those things. And very, very happy to have them on and get into some TTRPG goodness today.
Like it.
So I'm gonna jump in with a quick introduction to the concept of this game before we go around and meet all your characters. So Time Heist is a heist in which the players need to steal a time machine. However, once the players have the time machine, they can obviously go back and help their past selves to steal said time machine.
Makes perfect sense.
So the way we're going to do this is, as we go through the first version of our heist, is that you lot, I'll be asking you the usual things. I'll be asking you to roll to see if you fail or succeed. But if you roll, if you fail at something you need to do, or if you just are struggling to come up with a solution, you can at any point bootstrap, which means call upon the aid of your future selves. So
Can we always say, that sounds like a problem for future me every time? That's my request.
Heck
Thanks.
yeah.
So at any point, future you can come and solve your problems for us, and ideally in plausible human ways, but not necessarily with, it could be with something that you don't have right now, but future you appears with it. Perhaps.
Here's one I
Future
made
you
earlier.
Exactly. Future you might also look slightly different from you now when they appear, but I'll tell you more about that later. So it sounds like the job's pretty easy. You get help from the future, you get to steal the time machine. However, once we have the time machine, it is of vital importance that you go back in time and help your past selves to steal said time machine, because if you do not, the fabric of reality itself will start to degrade and you will fade from existence.
So is this a Back to the Future-esque time travel mechanic?
It is indeed. In this, there is only one timeline and its integrity must be maintained. Everything must happen as it had happened and will happen and does indeed happen.
Excellent.
So everyone got their brains around that part?
No, just because that's not Back to the
Absolutely.
Future, because there's multiple timelines. In Back
I was
to the
going to say, I
Future.
don't think Back to the Future does follow that.
Get out of Back to the Future
Doesn't it?
world.
Yeah, because Donald Trump has the
there is an alternate timeline, and he has to go fix it. Original timeline. Okay, so it's not Back to the Future. What's it like then?
It's like what they're trying to achieve in Loki, but it's not what happens in Loki because there are branches in Loki.
A game reference would be Time Splitters 3. Does this?
Okay, sure.
Okay, there we go. It's Time Splitters 3.
There must be an obvious film. Doctor Who does this, right?
That's Wibbly wobbly. Like.
But it is a set timeline, right? You can't.
They turn up in each other's timelines occasionally,
right?
But there's just the one. Yeah,
there is always just the one. I don't think anything's ever been gone back in time and changed the future. Oh no, it has happened because that's when the Cloister Bell and shit happened. Okay, right. No, time travel shows get weird.
So obviously,
really hard to write.
All that nonsense fiction. This is obviously based in very grounded, very well researched time science.
Mm-hmm.
Time science, TM.
So it's just sort of the fundamental laws of time science should help you to figure out what to do.
Chronomancy.
Chronomancy, the greatest match. Okay.
Now,
Dimension 20.
When we start off this game, what we're going to do is we're going to go around and we're going to meet everybody's characters, and everyone's character gets involved in this particular heist. Because they receive a somewhat cryptic message from an unknown individual. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you to, first off, introduce your character, tell us their pronouns, what they look like, a bit about what they do maybe, and then tell us the scene. This is sort of like, a little montage at the beginning, the little scene in which you receive that message, which can be in any form. Does anyone particularly want to go first? Volunteers? Don't usually ask for volunteers because of the awkward silence.
Sure, let's do it.
Go for it. Nathan, you're the best. This is why we invited you.
Please take notes, everyone.
I don't think mine suits going first.
Okay, fine. Thank you so much, Nathan. Nathan, who are you playing today?
I was initially going to go for a high voice, but everybody responded well to the deeper one, so we'll stick with that, shall we?
It's going to distract me all evening.
I'm sorry about it, babes.
I love it.
Dr. Quentin Shelby, him, a professional scientist in what one would call biotics. The idea is synthesizing new organs and parts of oneself in order to, craft a better body, a different body. On top of doing relatively kind of altruistic work, we're in this particular timeline, being able to get the body that you want is actually very, very easy. If you want a particular shape of your body, you can just pay a solid amount of money and get that with no problem whatsoever. But going beyond that is something that Quentin is particularly interested in. We see him
I'm in love with Quentin.
You really don't.
It's the voice. It's the voice. I'm so sorry.
We meet Quentin in his West Hollywood penthouse laboratory. We are in this kind of like sunny location, a glittering, very futuristic building as the camera pans up it to the penthouse suite, which has this kind of like hexagonal glass tiling kind of thing, very Crystal Maze dome, very Eden project. And Quentin is working inside on a new set of hands that are being worked on. And as he has this kind of like control panel in his hand, and he operates the slider. And as he operates the slider, this like simulated hand, it changes different colors in the nails. And then he slides a different one, and the nails then turn into like razor sharp tips. Yes. Excellent.
Okay,
I'm blushing.
Dr. Shelby, as you're there, this is just your sort of day-to-day working away in your special lab. You realize that you've received a message. How would you notice this?
I think this is we hear kind of in the background kind of like a melody, a chirping melody in the background, like a phone ringing or a ringtone. It's like, oh, I appear to have a message. That, actually, very literally that. As he walks onto his balcony, it's a sunny day. We can hear the sounds of West Hollywood below, and there is something bird-like on the balcony. But it turns out, as the camera kind of like zooms in, that this is definitely a bird that has been crafted. Going beyond the bounds of human, this bird slash personal assistant may once have been much more human than before, but is actually kind of tweeting the aforesaid ringtone. Excellent. I do have a message. Please go and recall all messages. Thank you. And Quentin hears the message recalled.
I will tell you what the message says when everyone gets to that point, because if everyone is in fact going to receive the exact message. So I will leave that as a cliffhanger for now.
So good.
Ali, where is Rafi's? Well, introduce your character.
It's a wide open plaza. On the north side, you can see the colonnades and the pillars of the Grand First Central Bank of the Inner Planets. People milling around, lots of suits, people walking out, sort of people important, people go, yeah, Roger, yeah, like just talking through the, you can see the grey skies of central London, cafes around the edge, and as the camera moves towards one of them, you see a table, just nondescript, and a lone figure back to the camera working at that table, slight, and a laptop open. You can see that it's scarred, a bit chipped, it's stained. As they work in the background, suddenly you hear alarms from the First Central Bank start picking off and going around. Security guards running out. Everybody standing up, looking over, and you hear from inside, smoke starts to rise from the center of the building as the guards run towards it. Police sirens, ambulance, everybody's standing up. People start to run. The figure stands up. You can see just wearing tattered jeans, a faded t-shirt with the logo on it of something that you can't quite recognize. They turn to go with the madding crowd, pick up their laptop. You see a face, short crop, blonde hair, a scar cutting down across the forehead, over one of the eyes, half shutting one of the lids, and with a slight limp, they walk with the crowd, laptop under one arm, and then their phone goes. They take it out of their pocket. Hello?
Wow. That is where we'll leave.
That little taster of the accent, just sprinkle.
Rafiz and Barak, they them. Something's going on with them in that bank, but we may never know.
I love that it's of the planets.
Of the central planets, which is now canon as well.
Yeah.
Emily,
yes.
Next.
Sure. It's a bit of a different scene. We go to like a terraced house on a very, typical looking British street. We sort of zoom in through the living room window, and you can see one of those, the living room, dining room. You can see the kitchen outside, and there's a family all sitting down to dinner. There's a mum, dad's like just coming in, taking his coat off. Mum's serving up some what looks like alphabetti spaghetti to these two little boys running around, and a teenage girl comes in and like slumps down at the dinner table. She's typical film teenage girl, pale skin, hair over one eye, wearing a shirt with a hoodie over the top, and she just sort of sits down and is like, "Ugh, fucking alphabetti spaghetti again, mum. God, honestly." And she goes to eat the spaghetti and looks down and sort of looks confused and looks down and sees Nemesis written, but N3 M3515 spelled out in alphabetic spaghetti, and she quickly kind of scrubs it off her plate, quickly eats the spaghetti, and goes, Mom, I'm going to my room. You can't stop me. I hate you. And then runs upstairs. I wasn't going to do that voice. And then like opens the door to her room, slams it, bolts it. Now the room is still bright pink with My Little Pony stickers all over the walls because her mum and dad won't let her change it. And she's really fed up with it. She goes over to this little like makeup dressing table that she's got, and there's a little My Little Pony again plush, and she picks it up, and suddenly the wall just shifts and the entire wall comes out, and this screen, just a wall of screens, computers, green lights, code just appearing everywhere, and she sits down to look at the message that she's about to receive.
Amazing. And finally, Simon.
So, my name's Matt Baker, and I took on a crippling amount of debt in order to finance my family's sheep farm up in Yorkshire. And as a result, I've had to take on a lot of jobs over the years. I've done a bunch of TV presenting. I've been all over the country talking to people in the sort of countryside manners. And we find our scene is I've just been on a popular a national dancing program called Slickly Groomed Prancing.
Brilliant.
And I've just finished doing an American Jive to Wake Me Up Before You Go by Wham. And I've just done the interview after the action. The camera pans away to the next contestant, and I just get a little buzz. I see there's a message, and I think, oh, thank God. What else can I do next? I see the message.
As you all log on to your various communication devices, you see a message from an individual. You recognize the signature. You don't know what it says or who they are, but you have worked for this individual before. You are, in fact, seasoned criminals. You have done before crimes, and you know that this particular source of messaging is a good tip, will be a success and will pay well. The information that you get about this particular job is, first off, you are to steal the chronoshift. The chronoshift is the world's first and only time machine. It has been developed by Crypta Industries and is being auctioned off to the world's greatest hypervillains in a special event on Crypta Island, which is Crypta Industries' special experimental base.
What level of villainy do you have to reach in order to be a hyper villain?
Right.
14.
You're above a super villain at that point. I know Pokemon potions.
What would the max villain be?
Master villain.
Yeah.
Now,
Oh, wait, no, it's max for potions, isn't it? I'm thinking of the balls. Okay.
That's a master. It's
Yeah.
max of potions.
Yeah, but potions is max. Master is the top ball.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about Pokemon. Sorry, Shamini, carry on.
okay, right. Now, it also includes in this message instructions on how you can reach the island. Now, as mentioned, there is going to be this auction. And this message tells you the best way to get onto the island is to arrive by seaplane, along with all the other auction guests. You can moor at the island's secure and guarded dock, and find a way to blend in with the hypervillains.
Mm-hmm.
You also know that nearby, when you arrive, there is a lockbox. You don't know what's going to be in it, but it is going to be items that could be of use to you during the heist.
Ooh, it's the height.
The heist. The lockbox
We give her very high up.
is in the coat check area.
Mm-hmm.
Coat and bag check, under number 531.
It's very similar to some of the numbers in my name. Also, did I say I was
You didn't say
Nemesis?
anything.
Yeah,
Sorry.
you did.
I did?
Well, you
Okay.
said it was in the alphabetic spaghetti and left
Oh, yeah,
people
that's
to
her
their
name.
own conclusion.
That's her hacker name, but her actual name is Stephanie Smith.
Do you think you also can receive messages through alphabetic spaghetti?
I was
She's
really
just-
expecting the message to be in the
Prepping
alphabet.
for
that.
I wanted that, but then I thought that was too improbable.
Oh yeah, that would be just way too silly base. Let's
Wait,
keep this
what?
grounded in reality.
Message.
I didn't realize Ali would be like by a bank in space.
No, I think all of us kind of ended up going wilder as the thing went.
Yeah.
Everybody was like, "Oh no, Quentin's so hot," and I was like, "Well, now I need to make him worse."
I gotta up my game.
Now Quentin's hot and
The chrono shift itself, before being presented to everyone at the auction, is being kept in an extremely secure location on the island. It is suspended over the mouth of the island's dormant volcano.
Awesome.
Because of course it is.
Exactly what you do with the most valuable.
yeah.
Probably fine.
Look, if it falls, everyone dies.
Okay, how have I
Now-
summarized that?
You are told how to get to the seaplane, which will take you to the island. So let's jump forward to your arrival on the seaplane. Now you are probably familiar to each other, but who would like to arrive first on the seaplane?
I think Rafiz will always arrive first. They make a point of being there, scanning, watching. Just sat there on a bollard. The bollards are quite big. They're quite small, so they watch, see the people pass.
Okay,
Maybe
Rafiz.
occasionally they talk into a little machine they hold in their hand.
Rafiz is on a bollard. Who else is around?
Just to check, Matt, with you being an acrobat,
Yeah.
how do you feel about double majoring in contortionist?
I mean, the thing about the acrobat thing is that it's not really within my control. I can only go as far as the sort of the mechanics of my body allows me to go. So if I try and push it beyond that,
Yes.
Oh, I can absolutely help you push your body beyond what you ever imagined.
oh god,
Nathan.
I do not know how to respond to that.
I'm going to pour some water. We've got we've got a sexy scientist,
Thank you.
absolute gold dust for the RP geeks. Matt Baker, gold dust for Emily, and Rafiz is already sounding very attractive. Like this is dangerous for me.
Ocean's 11, everybody is
playing-
hot.
A teenager.
And somebody's got to have the kind of like the audience surrogate, like, I get to hang with all the hot
Teenagers
masculines.
do fall in love with adults, so like it's all fine.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
the normal one. That's
Yeah.
fine. Yeah.
As point of order, Quentin's dialogue is very carry on, but never gets saucier than that. That is like the limit to where they
You
he
can
goes.
take it as
Just-
far as you want to.
No. There's a
enjoying.
point for me as well. I don't like, but if you'll allow, Matt, I'd like to rock up to this with a very large suitcase.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I'm listening.
It's kind of like a Quentin pulls up in at docks in a very expensive looking car. It's not a limousine, that's gauche these days, but steps out in a very, very expensive suit, alligator shoes, kind of like peacock imprint, like brocade in the suit, very animal themed. And kind of steps out of the back of the car, steps around to the back of the car and opens the boot. Very, very large, bright red kind of wheelie suitcase in there. And he then kind of like lightly taps twice on the top of the suitcase. Oh, good. He's still breathing. Removes the suitcase and starts to slowly trundle it along. There is a cobble path on the way to the dock.
Yeah,
But,
obviously. The seaplane is moored right next to the cobble path at this particular seaplane airport.
Are we about to get onto the seaplane? Is
You're
that
about to get onto the
okay.
seaplane, yeah.
I think a little bit later, a sedan pulls up with and Nemesis is sitting in the front seat with her mum, who's looking very annoyed, and she's like, look, mum, I've got to go. Look, it's just, you know, school projects and stuff, like we do it all the time.
Stephanie, why is this so last minute?
Because I forgot to give you the form, but can you just sign the form and I can go, please? It's going to be, I'll get me into a really good university. They said I'll basically be like assured Harvard.
Harvard?
Yes.
That's in America.
Yes.
You want to leave? Stephanie.
No, Mum, I can get to Oxford too. What do you want? Or like a good one, Cambridge.
Okay, this doesn't say anything about the price. I'm just very worried.
No, it's free. It's free. It's free because I'm in the specialised, you know,
we're really
jumper
clever. Or an anorak.
Mum, please, it's going to leave without me.
Okay. She scribbles a signature and reluctantly hands you back the form, looking very concerned.
Mum, I love you.
I love you too, Stephanie. Have a lovely time, darling.
You too. Don't let Dad be a dick. All right, see you later. And she's like, got a little backpack on and like on a seaplane.
On a seaplane. School trips on it. Stephanie's mum was just like, oh, and drives away. It's nice. Free trip on a seaplane.
Free trip on a seaplane.
So, Rafiz, you have seen all of this occur, and I'm presuming that everyone is getting onto the seaplane.
Mm-hmm.
So you've seen everyone board, climb the steps.
Mm-hmm.
They will.
Point.
Hi, everyone.
Plus.
Hi.
Hi.
It's,
Yes.
So Nemesis, that's N3 M3515. Hi.
Nemesis, yes.
Yeah.
I am Dr. Quentin Shelby. In here, knock knock.
Oh, Dr. Shelby, what have you done now?
Oh, nothing. I just have a lot of changes of clothes to take with me. He opens the zip slightly on the bag.
Oh, hello.
Baker!
Is that Matt Baker from the telly?
Yeah. Oh, Stephanie. Oh, we met. Remember I gave you that badge?
Nemesis. It's Nemesis.
Sorry, yeah, Nemesis, the coding badge. Remember I gave.
Yes,
Right if I get
no.
out, Quentin.
I always carry a Matt Baker with me. What person would leave the house? What fashionista would leave the house without one?
Nemesis also like opens her jacket and shows that she's got her little blue Peter badge on the inside. Look, I keep it with me all the time. It was Rafiz. Hi,
So-
me again. Hi.
You are the famous Nemesis.
Yes.
You are.
We haven't met in person, but I did that job for you with Crypta before, and it went really
Yes,
well.
you are very.
And now they're
pleasant.
threatening me and my family. So
Yes,
so
it was
exciting.
understandably this was always potentially going to happen. It's
Sure.
very well. It's good when you have no family or anything for these problems to happen.
Sure, but I do, and they're a pain, but I don't want them to die. So
Okay, interesting. Well, I will bear that in mind.
Good.
Rafiz. How has that new body been treating you, Rafiz? He glances at your scar. It doesn't look like you've been taking very good care of it.
Shelby, when you sell someone something, you better goddamn well be sure you tell them the truth next time. You see these legs? Not the ones you gave me.
I mean, these ones were supposed to let you leap over a building in a single bound, but there's general aftercare precautions that must be taken. I could give you a tune-up. I do have my tools in the bag with me.
I
Not
know.
all of
I'll
them. I
give
needed to leave
you-
room for Matt.
Some of them are still stuck in my back, I think.
oh my god.
Matt Baker, what are you doing hanging around with this?
Look, I've just got to try and earn enough to get the stats. Yeah, I told you about this when we did that profile on spurious countryside investments in East Anglia when I met you on that.
Oh, how is your flock?
It's doing well. The lambing season's not been great, but a couple of prize ones this year. I'll get back to them when I'm next up in Yorkshire.
You know, we could have use of them in something I'm planning in the future.
If that thing is a shepherd's pie, I've told you before, no.
It will be the greatest shepherd's pie.
He's a culinary mastermind.
The side hustle.
I have a line of frozen dinners in supermarkets.
Is this all of us?
I do believe so, yes.
You are on the seaplane by this point, and the seaplane takes off into the sky. We will jump forward again through many hours of dull air travel.
Nemesis has just been pressed up against the window, like the
because
entire time.
other hypervillains are like on this seaplane, assumedly. If this is the hypervillain,
No. Sorry. So hypervillains can afford their own seaplanes,
right?
and you have been provided with one so that you can blend in.
Oh,
Yeah, no, this track.
But you're not on the guest
The
list.
carbon footprint of this event is
right.
colossal.
So do
You're
we
not
need to
hypervillains. You're just criminals, which is very different.
one day? We should try and make ourselves look more evil or.
I'm still wearing my talking tails from the show, so I figured I'd blend in. They're a little bit crumpled.
A little clump now.
I've only really got this, and it's like a non-ironed shirt with a hoodie over it with my Blue Peter badge.
To be fair, you look like every tech billionaire.
Great.
Good point.
Can I ask, please? At the point where we're all about to enter the plane, I would like to look up from what I'm doing and look down the cobble street and see a small figure pulling an enormous suitcase full of various different disguises. They leave the suitcase by the side of the road, and I will pick it up and I take it on the plane. And then the figure leaves.
Amazing. Okay, so this is the first time that we have what seems to be an intervention from the future.
A bootstrap, if you will.
Bootstrap has occurred now.
Trying to get my hair right. Sorry.
That's such good hacker hair. It's brilliant.
Oh,
It's also very good Emily teenager hair.
I have no depth perception.
That this character bears a resemblance to Rafiz themselves.
They do.
In which case, could you roll me a D20, please, Ali?
Oh my God, D20, the one thing I did not pass.
All right.
There you go. It's a 4. It's a 4.
That's a 4.
That's good.
That's great in this game.
That's good.
So a 1 to 4 on the D20 roll means an entirely successful use of the chrono shift, and the future self that you see there looks very similar to how you look now. Nothing seems to have happened to them in the intervening time. So very successful. Well done. Reality is sustained. All right, so so you have now a suitcase of disguises. I will say that you can dress up for however you like to look villainous. Beautiful fringe, Emily.
Well, I'm now wondering if Nemesis does that thing that happens in all teenage coming of age movies, where actually she takes she pushes the fringe away and has another eye, and everyone's like, oh, she's beautiful. And not in a, because she's still a teenager, but in a teenage movie way. So I wonder if she like puts her hair back. So now I'm really glad that I just changed my hair. And then there's like a nice like dress that she wears, but then she still puts the hoodie on over the top of it with the Blue Peter badge.
Okay, amazing. One thing that I will note, actually, just about this about this bootstrap, which is going to potentially cause
Ali, you've doomed us all
problems later.
Already.
Well, it's just that
Ali betrays the party.
the chrono shift.
Bingo!
This bag is full of live crocodiles.
The chrono shift can move you through time, but not through space. So bear in mind that you will now have to find a way to get back to the airport in order to have taken.
Where
That's
is
simple.
the airport?
You just go really far back in time and then get a boat.
It's where is the airport? It's Essex.
Oh shit, we've got to do that right at the beginning as well.
How many?
You don't have to do it in order,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
You can go last, maybe.
You can go last, yeah.
Yeah. Excellent. Okay. Well.
Cool. That's noted. I understand how the time jumping works. This is fine. We can work.
So
with
we
that.
get one
I
time
don't.
jump each?
You get as many jumps as you like.
But we have to roll.
I think I'd spaff my time jump on like a
Go
angular
bad,
this one.
but yeah.
We can make
Love
that
it.
loot stable already.
It'll be fine. It's gonna be fine.
Loot stable. You don't have to worry about it. You good?
Thank
Okay,
God.
we jump forward. The seaplane is coasting down towards a beautiful tropical island, and you can see all these other planes coming in, and you can see that there are very well-dressed staff there greeting guests, taking them through. There's a glass of champagne on arrival. There is the coat and bag check. And there
Are
is.
we getting off now? Is that happening now? Or
Yes.
are we still on
So,
our plane?
what I will say is, just before you get off, bearing in mind that you're not in fact on the guest list.
Yes, we need a plan.
Yeah, what would you like to do to actually get into?
We
this
should
party?
probably work out how we're going to get in before we get off the plane. Rafis, this does tend to be your area of expertise.
Sí, tienes razón. Okay, so Matt Baker, you clearly have incredible physical ability. Dr. Quentin Shelby, you are a man for the dirtiest of all entry points. This has gotten away from me. And
Quentin smiles and doesn't say anything.
Oh no.
and Nemesis, surely you can get into the encrypted systems and potentially maybe, I don't know, do some sort of...
Oh, I could probably add us to the guest list. I mean, what if I made sure we were added to the guest list in
That seems
the
entirely
past?
reasonable to me.
Now you have options here. So you are a hacker, right?
Correct.
So if you want to hack in now and try and
That's easier than trying to use the thing. Yeah, I'll do
in
that.
the first instance.
Okay, yeah, I'll try that. I wasn't sure if we were meant to try and do everything with time travel.
No.
Okay,
So
cool.
the idea is you can roll a D12 for whatever you're trying to do.
Higher is better.
I've got my little laptop.
If you fail, you can choose instead to have your future self
Got it.
say, come in and fix it.
Yeah, okay.
And if
so,
you use your future self, you will, I think, always automatically succeed.
gotcha.
Mhm.
And because I'm a hacker, I roll this twice, correct? It's like
Roll with
advantage.
exactly, because you are a
Hey. That is a 12. Highest
Oh.
one or lowest one?
The
Higher.
highest. You
Yeah,
want to roll
12.
high.
High is good. High is good.
I got a 12.
Yes.
Amazing.
What would you like your names to be?
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's best.
I'm
to put
not.
down as
I'm going to
Matt
be
Baker.
Stephanie Smythe.
Smythe, yeah, with a Y. Nice.
Yeah.
I want to be Octagon. It's just
Octagon.
Will do.
Oh yeah, Stephanie doesn't sound that evil. Okay, well, I'm going to do it. Okay, Octagon.
Stephanie Scythe, maybe.
Oh, that with a C. Yeah, great. Side, love it. Yeah, brilliant.
Enter the Octagon has now just got a whole new meaning.
Thanks. Thanks, Quentin.
So,
Should we call you Dr. Shelby or Quentin?
Either is fine, but to be honest, I don't think you need to go and change my name.
Oh,
This
Oh.
is
right.
He kind of like scratches the back of his head and looks genuinely a little bit embarrassed. I have been passed up to enter the League of Hypervillains for the 3rd year, and this was an ideal opportunity to go and show those motherfuckers what they've been missing.
Wow. Now I think about it, Nemesis is probably quite a good villain name, isn't it, actually? Rather than Stephanie. I'm not going to change it again. I'm not going to. It would be stupid to do it anyway. Matt, are you going to?
I think just keep with Matt Baker. People who know.
You're not
who I am.
really. People don't really think of you as a villain, though, do they, Matt?
That's the thing.
I think you're quite loved, actually. internationally.
Something that you learn when you go on the inside of TV is that all Blue Peter presenters are actually villains.
Even Connie Huck.
Even Connie Huck, especially. She is He-Man.
You leave Connie Huck out of this, Matt Baker. Okay, cool. I'll put Matt Baker down. Well, that's it. We're on. They should just let us through.
amazing. You depart your
Stephanie looks so pleased with herself. She's like grinning and looking at them all for like a nod of approval. Like, I don't know.
No. Yeah. Quentin generally looks at you and nods politely and goes, "Good job."
Thank you. She just sort of puts her hood over her face and like silently screams into it.
Kicks the feet.
In fact, since we are trying to be the part, how would you like to be my minion, Nemesis?
Yeah, I'd love that. Yeah, that'd be great. That sounds really fun. Yeah.
Perfect.
God, this is so much better than school.
He smiles way too wide. like a human shouldn't smile that wide.
Stephanie has seen Minions, the movie, but is kind of like not convinced that she's sort of trying to work out whether she will be like yellow in dungarees or not. But can't quite
I'm
work out
going
if that's gonna be
to
okay.
just to kind of avoid that being a joke throughout the entire thing. Just politely hit the rewind/X card on that, and just say the minions don't exist in this setting, so we don't have to deal with that the entire time.
No Facebook mum memes for you, Bates.
No Facebook mum.
You have to go back and stop that.
No,
whole
Ali, no.
never having happened.
This is how, genuinely, you know what? I am going to just spend one of my jumps to the past where a previous Dr. Quentin Shelby has managed to go and deal with somebody in Illumination Studios so that production never got made. And as a result...
Stephanie goes to think about it and then goes, I don't even know what I was going to say there. Weird.
There we go.
Amazing.
Wow.
As you walk along this lovely sort of wooden dock, other guests sort of passing you, you see the sort of champagne ahead of you. There is a person with a clipboard waiting to greet everyone. And as you go up, you give your names, and they're flicking through the papers on their clipboard. I'm terribly sorry. How are we spelling this? I can't seem to.
Oh, are you using? Sorry, are you not like using the latest? You're using paper printout. Is that what you're doing?
Yes.
Okay, because the system gets updated all the time because people change their villain names all the time. So you should really be using the system, like the online system.
You wouldn't want to dead name a hypervillain, would you?
Exactly.
Absolutely. I can't. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. What's your name?
Clements.
Clements.
Pleasure, Clements. Well, if you wouldn't mind being an absolute darling and just getting the updated digital reports, that would be excellent.
Clements just like nods and just sort of like speed walks, that whole like I'm not running I'm at work, but I'm walking as fast as I possibly can.
Proper power walk, yeah.
Past everything to a nearby building. There's still sort of security who are just sort of here looking sort of serious, making sure, telling people to wait. After a while, Clements comes back with they come back with like a pad, with like a tablet, which they don't seem very kind of comfortable with. They're not quite sure how to use. They find all of your names and tick it off. You go past the tray of drinks that are offered, and finally you are at the coat check on the left. Coats and bags can be left, and straight ahead, the sort of main entrance area.
Right, we need to get
Rafis,
to 531.
Rafis, at this point, take out 4 earpieces from their pocket and give one to everyone and put one in their ear. Say, now we are connected. I will run comms. I will be the eyes. Everyone else, you'll hear my voice, hear each other's voices.
Cool.
We can do this.
Great. Should we go to the coat check then?
Quentin, I've got an idea. Perhaps I could get back in your bag and you could drop your bag off at the coat check. And then when it's inside, I could come out and search for the drop box.
Oh my, that is an excellent plan.
Snaps, Matt Baker.
Oh, Matt Baker.
So good.
Would you like to be folded up in the suitcase?
No, I'll do it
by
myself
me
this time,
or-
thank you.
I'd like to
A little bit
watch.
harsh.
Would you like to go somewhere a bit more out of sight to get in?
yeah.
Just so fun.
Oh,
It feels like the
Guitar,
kind of thing we could have
everyone.
done on the plane, doesn't it? Really?
Yeah,
But,
I'm sorry, but if I'm surrounded by hypervillains, I would not question anyone's behavior. I'd just be like, yeah, sure, I don't want to die. Like,
No, I think there's like, right, before we go and hobnob with these fantastic, marvelous hypervillains, how do you say we go and powder our noses, Matt?
yes, when you put it like yes, fine. Bring the bag with you.
We like wander past kind of like Clements and like Quentin kind of like off vocal mouths. We're doing cocaine as we
Stephanie is going over and getting a glass of champagne because she's excited that there's booze.
Stephanie has one of the free glasses of champagne. Oh yeah, while Matt and Quentin disappear off into a bathroom, where I think we shall fast forward through the situation of Matt getting in the suitcase.
Those kind of like Edgar Wright quick cuts.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like,
Yeah.
That's gorgeous, and I love it.
Yeah.
Quentin reappears, pulling the suitcase, and goes over to the coat check.
Leaning over. I think in the interim of going and quote unquote doing cocaine, the first 3 buttons of the dress shirt have been unbuttoned. And he goes over. Who's the concierge? Who's like the coat check concierge?
You can see a sort of very, very tall, very thin young man with very large ears, and he does have a little name tag that says Neil.
Oh, Neil. We must protect Neil. I have selected him.
Good afternoon. Glances. Neil, I hope you're having a pleasant day.
I am, thank you.
Oh, such a sonorous voice. Yes, you may go and put this bag into coat check if you don't mind.
I shall come round and wheel it. Comes round. We take very good care of all coats, bags, and other possessions here, so please do not worry about your personal property.
Right. I am, as I'm sure you can tell by my appearance, a very particular man. And I would be absolutely delighted if you could go and just put this in the kind of like 532 space. It's my lucky number. And I'm looking to get lucky today.
Oh, I will do that for you. Absolutely.
Oh, are you struggling to go and pull that suitcase? Here, allow me. And he like slides like behind, like in Ghost.
Oh God!
And just kind of like guides his arm to the thing. Extends a leg to kind of like tip the suitcase.
Oh,
there
right.
You go.
Of course, that's how it. Thank you very much.
On your way now, Neil.
Neil. He sort of glances back at you and he sort of disappears. Sort of
Neil is all of us met with Dr. Quentin Shelby.
Coach area. You can't sort of Quentin. You can't really see what's happening. Matt, you can sort of feel what's happening. You feel you sort of stop at a sort of particular place. You're sort of left there for a moment. You hear some sort of sliding and shuffling going on, footsteps going away, footsteps coming back. And then the bag being lifted with great difficulty and shoved into what seems to be a very large shelf. Neil comes running back out. Gets out his computer system, and you can see is very quickly sort of changing something that was there before, and then says 531, yes, and what is the name, please?
I did. Quentin kind of raises an eyebrow. Ask for 532, but it's perfectly fine.
Right.
My name is.
What's going on?
Don't
worry.
My name is Quentin Shelby. It's a delight.
Oh right, Mr. Shelby.
Yes, thank you.
He prints something off, and then sort of does a little sort of scribble on it, and then gives you a little card with 532 written on it.
Thank you very much. And he takes it, gives Neil a polite head tilt, thank you very much, and kind of turns away. And once out of kind of line of sight, goes to earpiece, being kind of like, Matt, you're in.
I just like unzip the zip just to get one eye up. Like, is the coast clear?
Will you roll a d12 for me to
Gladly.
check the orientation of the suitcase in the shelf?
Oh my God, yes.
Oh no.
I rolled a 9.
That's pretty good.
That's enough. You send a little put a little eyeball out, and you can see sort of past some shelves, just the sort of edge of Neil's shirt on the outside, but you are in the sort of this whole series of shelves with all sorts of very exciting looking things around. There's like boxes and crates and sort of like metal boxes with like hundreds of locks and very nice coats.
I think in a very lively, like it's literally like a lambing. I've just realised.
Oh no!
It's like a scene in Ace Ventura.
No.
Do you do that little walk that lambs do when they've just been
Yeah, and pull myself out of the case.
Very amazing. You are, I will say, roll me a d12 to be very quiet. Now is probably the time with all that zipping, actually.
That's an 11.
Hey-oh.
Running very well for now.
We're using all our good rolls, Ellie.
You are so silent, and you are standing stealthily, acrobatically, Matt Baker, in the middle of the hypervillain coat check.
I look for number 531.
You see next to you the little space for 531. It contains a small wooden chest, very like nice and modern, but like very sort of like nice wood.
How big are we talking?
Expensive.
Is it big enough to carry? Basically, is what I mean.
It's much smaller than the suitcase that you were in. It's maybe, let me just check what's in it. It's like that big.
Okay, right.
For the podcast listeners, I won't put my hand.
She's doing the big fish, little fish cardboard box dance.
Like microwave sized, I would say.
Yeah,
maybe.
like a small microwave.
Not microwave wavelength, but microwave size. Are there any air vents or sort of ventilation in this coat store?
Ventilation in the coat store. Roll to look around for ventilation.
I've not spent very much time in coat stores, believe it or not. Oh, that's a nat 1.
A nat 1. Oh no, that's fine. Okay, okay, that's fine for now. As we go along, that will become more of a problem.
Get about now.
Yeah.
Their only way out seems to be past Neil. There's no vents, there's no airflow. It's very stuffy on this tropical island. And Neil is standing right there. You'd have to kind of go round the little desk that he's at.
Team, I need a bit of a distraction. Could someone do something?
Stephanie downs another glass of champagne and then just smashes it on the floor. Just starts running around.
You can see some people just like immediately rush forward to brush it up, like they've been expecting this kind of villainous behavior.
Yeah, do something really good.
What?
Donate to charity or something.
Oh, shit. I thought maybe if I smash something, then people would look at me.
Guys, hello. I think Stephanie may not have drunk before. I think could be an issue.
Should I have more?
No, Stephanie, you come back here. You come back.
Okay, cool.
Stephanie.
I've had wine. Mum lets me have a sip every Christmas. So.
Okay, that's good. Well, you come back. We'll get some more then.
Sure.
Perhaps.
Quentin, could you maybe distract Neil? You seem to have got a rapport with him.
With Neil, of course. Yeah. Okay. Quentin makes his way back onto the kind of main lobby floor and witnesses the champagne glass being smashed. And then he kind of gives like a polite little golf clap, just kind of like, oh, she's learning. And goes and fishes 2 from the kind of like free champagne. There is a sign to say take only one, but hey, we're hypervillains. We don't do what we're told.
Everyone's just taking 3 at once. And what are you going to do about it?
He slides his way, and I think kind of literally, like he kind of tweens into frame back to coat check with Neil, and it's like, I was having such a delight talking to you. I figured that we could spend a moment to go and just celebrate and get to know each other before I go and explore the rest of this island. What do you say to a glass of champagne?
Oh, I don't know if I'm really allowed to drink while I'm working, Dr. Shelby.
There we go.
No.
Well, what if I said that? And I think he pulls he pulls a scalpel from inside his blazer and said, what if I said that you were drinking this under duress? Not that I'm actually doing so. That would be really mean of me.
Oh, well, you are a hypervillain.
At that
I
moment,
am, aren't I? And like in the back of like Quentin's head is just, you are a hypervillain. He's like, yes, finally.
Will you? So first off, can I have Quentin roll for
A D12 for schmoozing with this coat check.
Neil Schmooze?
Mm-hmm. That is a 9.
A 9. That is enough. Neil is at least temporarily distracted. Matt, you look like you wanted to do something there.
I think at that moment, the thing to realize about Matt is that he's an acrobat.
Yeah.
He's a reluctant actor. He doesn't really want to do these things, but when he knows his body knows that he needs to do something, it's just like, oh, I got to. Oh, fine. And then he's gonna like put the chest between his feet and kind of like cartwheel out, minimize the profile as much as possible.
So good.
Just stealthily cartwheel behind. No control over his own body. The body's doing its own thing.
Neil, amazing. Roll with advantage for your acrobating.
That's some top acrobating. That's a 10.
Oh,
Yes.
Damn. You swoosh behind Neil while Neil is already distracted. Quentin, you're sort of facing this, so you can kind of see this.
Neil like looks to one side. Is like, what was that noise? And just the flat side of the scalpel touches the side of his cheek and moves it back round. Oh no, we're still talking.
It's awakening things in me.
As you've seen, Dr. Shelby, you've seen Matt Baker acrobat behind Neil, and Neil is very ready to come with you and have a good time. What would you like to do?
Right. Oh, Neil, like holding the side of his ear, his own ear, not Neil's. So like the mic is on. I think we can all hear each other anyway, so he doesn't necessarily need to make that gesture. But it's kind of like, oh, Neil, now that we've gotten acquainted, you absolutely have to go and show me this building. I hear there's an active volcano here.
Oh, not in the building. That's behind. It's the other side.
Oh, well, do take me to the viewing balcony so we can go look at it together and have another glass of champagne.
Oh, if you absolutely insist, under duress, I shall have no choice.
Oh no, Neil.
This guy's
Oh, you're learning fast, Neil.
He's going to die. I don't want Neil to die.
There's no need for me to acrobat past. Like,
no,
I just cartwheeled past, and then you were just like, well, anyway, I'll just take the guard away.
He's going to take us to the volcano.
And Neil says, "Oh, this way, please." And I will say that as Neil sort of walks away, he does sort of wave frantically at sort of one of the nearby waiting staff, and someone else runs in and stands by the desk, having taken over. What is everyone else doing as Neil and Quentin walk around the side of the big fancy building?
Right, should we go find somewhere to look in the box?
Nemesis, before we go,
Yeah.
I think, is there some way that perhaps you can hook me in to the security systems. I want to have been looking around and seeing if I can see where presumably the CCTV cameras are, and see if I can get an idea of the network of eyes on the whole building.
Yeah, I can try. Yeah, I mean, I've crept into Crypta's systems before. It shouldn't be. Hopefully, they're not. Well, they might have upgraded their security because it was so easy. It only took me like 5 goes. Anyway, cool. Yeah, I can try, but I also don't really want to get my laptop out in the middle of everyone and show them that I'm doing that. So, should we go find a place?
Let us.
Not that I don't want to do that. I want to help.
toilets.
So I'm your
Go
girl.
do some cocaine in the toilets. It's just doing some cocaine.
Me
Classic,
too.
classic
Cocaine.
toilet
I've done it
activity.
loads of times. I'm an adult. And I follow.
You get a few looks, Stephanie, just a few like even for hypervillains, like, you know, people are a bit like,
They're not okay with children doing
there
drugs.
are lines, you know. Wow. Like,
One of them is like, it's my job to sell drugs to the youth community. This is muscling in on my business.
Black Diamond.
Matt Baker, are you coming too? BBC's Matt Baker or they're
Yes, I should probably go and film a thing about people doing cocaine, but not do it myself.
You would never.
yes.
You would never.
You're just going to have to put some kind of text below this video. Say,
Any
when does
relation
roleplay
to
become
persons
libel?
living or dead is purely coincidental.
Good. You congregate in a nearby toilet. It's luxury, right? Obviously, this is a luxury toilet. It's huge, single occupancy. It's got a sink. It's got a fancy dryer. You know, it's
I think you just see Rafiz run their hand just along the marble top, just looking at it for a moment, and then they're back in the zone.
It's got a chaise longue.
Stephanie sits on the chaise longue.
It's gonna be a nightmare. to keep
Are there
clean.
other people on the chaise longue?
No, this is all within a single like
Cubicle.
unit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Stephanie sits on the chaise longue,
individual bathroom.
gets her laptop out,
Yeah.
starts. Tries to bring up the CCTV systems from our center of operations, the toilet cubicle.
Okay, you're trying to hack into
Yet
all
again.
of the
I want the CCTV.
island
camera.
CCTV. I'm going to say this is a slightly harder challenge. I'm going to say you need a 10 or a higher to succeed, but you are doing it with advantage because you're hacking.
That is an 11.
Oh, this team!
Nice.
She's unstoppable.
Hey!
And that's where the campaign turned. That was the moment.
While this is happening,
Yeah.
I'm just going to leave our enormous cubicle. I'm just going to walk along past the other cubicles and just keep an ear out to see if I can hear any gossip, any people talking about things they shouldn't, maybe get an idea about what's happening in the underworld of the party, the underworld of the underworld.
Okay, roll. Yeah, sneaky eavesdropping for me.
Does that feel like a mastermind thing to do? That's not a
Oh
mastermind.
yeah,
I think that's definitely a mastermind.
advantage. Yeah.
That's a 2. And that's a 10.
Nice.
This team.
Okay, what's going on in the underworld of the underworld?
Can someone watching this, construct a probability density function of our dice? Because I'm really curious to see how skewed they are in this.
I mean,
one.
I rolled a 3 along with my 11
Okay.
when I rolled with advantage.
I
so.
still feel like we're skewing very heavily. I just want to see the numbers.
Shh.
Okay. As you are listening in on the various toilet cubicles, you overhear a number of evil plans being discussed by other people who've also snuck into the large toilet cubicles with an entire gang of people.
Brilliant.
They're all
Everyone.
just single occupancy toilet. There's only one toilet in all of these rooms, yet they all seem to be full of like little groups of people having like casual conversations.
Phenomenal.
in one of them, you hear about a plan to start a microchipping program that is going to offer people free microchipping of their cats. At which point they will suddenly, I'm doing it again, I'm sorry, but they're going to take over the cats and it's going to be an evil army of cats. I know.
Leave
sorry.
the animals alone.
I know, I'm sorry, I'm not very good at that. Okay, and moving swiftly on, the cats will also be fine after that. They're just
No, you meant
spies.
cats as in the diggers.
Oh, I was going to say we can work around this.
Take
We can do
over
like
the world with diggers that have been like hacked into. That would be a scary world.
Driven by
The
cats.
diggers. Yes, the diggers, in fact, are going to form an army. to
heavy
fully
construction
take over.
vehicle uprising. Okay.
Moving at 5 miles an hour.
Slowly
People just
coming down
walking
the
away, going, "Stop it!"
The Daleks can only trundle, but when you see all the diggers coming over Westminster Bridge in a line, then you'll know. Yeah. So that's one of the evil masterminds. You hear someone else talking about the Grand Central Bank job and how they were planning to heist that very bank the very an hour later, and someone got there first. How did these people know? Maybe here among the hypervillains they'll be able to find their rivals and who like they'll be able to heist back the winnings from the bank. Reverse heist. And you hear someone else who seems to be from Crypto Industries themselves talking about maybe bringing all the villains here will expose whoever it was who hacked into their top classified files.
And not only that,
Nemesis is there like, they're so easy. They're just the worst. They're just, who calls their password 2? Idiots. And
that's the hacking.
That's all she knows.
She's just really good at guessing passwords. That's all she does.
Well, that was the story with Feynman, right? Did you hear this in the Manhattan Project? Richard Feynman got access to all these areas of the Manhattan Project that he wasn't allowed access to because he just guessed the codes. Because it was like 314159 or 27 whatever it is. Like just putting in mathematical constants to the numpads, and that was what gave him access.
And eventually got there.
Nice. Okay, let's cut back to Dr. Quentin Shelby on a long romantic walk with a very awkward and very flushed Neil, who is leading you through these beautiful gardens. There's ponds. There's a little duck. He sort of awkwardly points to it and sort of says, "Yeah, there's a duck."
Ravishing. The iridescence on duck feathers is actually something that I've found fascinating for quite a while. In fact, you can actually apply it to hair qualities. And the light changes, and just in the light, the color in Quentin's hair is like, that kind of genetic modification is absolutely easy to do. What would you consider an ideal version of yourself, Neil? What would that look like?
Oh well, gosh, I'm not very ideal looking at all. To be honest, I'm too tall and too thin, and my ears stick out too much, and my hair has never really gone right. But I could never afford anything like what you do, Dr. Shelby.
Well, it just so happens that the second glass of champagne has been consumed. I'm in a very good mood. One thing you'd change about yourself, anything. Sky's the limit.
What would you change about me, Dr. Shelby?
Quentin actually looks very serious for a moment and goes, Neil, the comfort that you find in your own body is decided on by you. If you go and have other people decide what you should look like, you're never going to find true happiness that way.
Ooh. Oh,
What do
You hear over the
want to be?
earpiece.
There was someone on the other side of the volcano, just like, yeah!
Dr. Quentin Shelby, hypervillain in training, still very, very queer.
Yeah.
well, I suppose all the things I mentioned aren't really that important, but maybe I'd like to have a face that looks kind, so that when people see me, they think I'm nice. I think my face is a bit scary, and that's a bit sad.
Perfect. Close your eyes.
There's like the fraction of a pause very quickly.
Yeah, I would like to use my ability as a gene therapist scientist to give him exactly what he wants.
Oh, good. Please.
The no anesthetic.
Yeah. Please roll with advantage.
Absolutely.
Very
I'm
good.
gonna ruin this
Very
kid's
good.
face, and I'm so
Yeah.
sad. Hold on.
Come on, double one.
I rolled an 8. 8's pretty good out of 12.
Yeah, we'll take it.
Is what you needed on this particular one because you are very
we love Neil.
competent at what you're doing. Maybe it's not like your finest work,
Mm.
but it's definitely,
You had a couple of glasses of champagne. You know.
That's a couple of glasses
Yeah.
of champagne.
I can do this.
Right, drunk,
Yeah,
edit
it's-
sober. It doesn't really apply to surgery.
It's almost like watching a professional conduct an orchestra. Like the moment the baton is then raised, and we even get some like, I don't know what kind of like a dramatic classical music they like to put over kind of like shitty action films when there's elegance or artistry going on. We get Ave Maria
Beethoven,
or something.
typically.
love that, yeah.
Dubba, 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 dubba.
And yeah. I mean, this like on the like back audio of that, we do hear the sound of surgery occur, but it's kind of like we get some luscious kind of like sweeping shots of this garden outside. We see these ducklings trail after the duck. We see the volcano in the background, and then like in left ear, it's finished. And Quentin produces a pocket mirror.
Of course he does. Of course he does. Neil very sort of tentatively takes the mirror, looks at himself. Oh, wow! It sort of still looks like me, but sort of better. Wow! Thanks so much. No one's ever. Wow, that's real kind of you.
No, this is fun.
let me show you volcano, and I'll I can be your tour guide. I can anything you like, or anything you need around here for the rest of the day. And the dress and everything. I'll just you just let me know, and I'm on it.
Absolutely, Neil. Neil actually, the colors that he can see upon opening his eyes are so much more rich than before, and Quentin, because all of his kind of like gene therapy is usually animal themed, his eyes have the property of mantis shrimps now, so he can see colors that don't exist, including a degree of like ultraviolet and microwave.
Yes.
Oh my god!
Yes.
And am I right in thinking, just to have a brief sciencey chat of opportunity, that it's not with different animals? It's not just about expanding the range, but also if you have different sort of sensitive sensors in different parts of the spectrum, then because obviously we've got three.
We've got 3, yeah.
Yeah. So that then the different sort of combinations like allow you to see different colors. Is that
Yeah,
right?
there's probably stuff that exists that we can't process, but he can. I'm sure that if this happened in real life, his eyes would immediately burn out in natural daylight, but we don't about that too much. Let's not do that part of it. It's only the
just
cool
hear
part
that
of
over the
mantis shrimp pie.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying this out of character. This is not. I
sun's
rolled well on this
ultraviolet.
check.
Don't
If it
worry,
went poorly,
Chat
his
of
eyes would burn out.
opportunity.
Amazing.
But yeah, basically Neil has supervision now.
Awesome.
As
I
we
love it.
like wander off into the, and I mean, I must see what the kind of like bowels of this building must be. Your security doors must be absolutely radiant at this time of year.
Oh, absolutely. I will say that Neil is going to give you sort of detouring off from the volcano for now, like a completely full overview of the whole sort of setup. And what you discover is that there is a sort of big sort of security presence around, security guards, CCTV. There is the building is sort of at the foot of this volcano, which kind of goes up, and you can see this sort of structure dangling, this like a table covered in a cloth like a plinth, but sort of dangling. And later on, for the auction itself, there's basically the system whereby the whole plinth is going to start sliding down the slopes of the volcano on a sort of predefined route and slide into the building itself and appear on a stage in front of everyone.
How excessive. Love that.
What else do you know? I will say that there is some sort of janitorial systems below the building. There's the sort of they extend into the tunnels that work the mechanism to sort of hoist the chronoshift and kind of slide it down. The main security is just numbers. There are sort of guards everywhere. They sort of all able to talk to each other. They have weapons, and anything goes wrong, they're kind of being updated at any given point.
Gotcha. All this being relayed as we go to the rest of the team. At one point being like, excuse me a moment, Neil, I need to go and use the bathroom, and not even for cocaine this time. We've just drank lots of champagne. And as, again, moving out of sight for the call being like, it seems, rather deeper voice than that, it seems that there's a decent chance that the chrono shift is going to be coming to us rather than us having to go climb that volcano. How about we go and get ourselves into positions for the big event?
Yes, that sounds... Well, all the time they've been going around. Stephanie's just been turning to Matt going, do you think that Quentin likes Neil, or do you think maybe he might like someone else? Or I'm just wondering. I
think Quentin likes a lot of people, to be honest.
Right. So you think...
I wouldn't concern yourself with it. It's quite the age difference between the two of you, really.
No, me? No.
Oh, no, of course not. No,
that's stupid. I wouldn't want that. Anyway, so
who are you?
What about how old are you?
How old
are you two? You 16, 17?
I'm...
Why are you Googling how old you are?
I'm 44 years old.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're like a sprightly 38, man, Baker. It's always amazed me. If the GM will allow, and Ephesus had a plan at this point. They have realized that if they can basically go through the event, especially with the help of all of the security cameras, they can essentially plot exactly how everyone is going to move, all the different, like what everybody plans to do, who's talking to who, everything that's happening, everything they see. They can write it all down, and then their past self can give them that information, and he can,
that's cool. Avoid everyone.
Perfect. But it's a bit of a game breaker. I don't know if that's...
No, I like it. You say, well, what you'll know is where everyone is. What I will say is that, so you don't mean now, you mean like when the heist goes down, right?
Oh, I can just do it for basically the whole time. I'm just chronicling everything, and then I've given myself that chronicle.
To do that in a stable time loop, you would need to essentially remove yourself from the equation while you do nothing but watch CCTV for the next couple hours.
But he could give that information to us.
Yeah.
Yes,
and then we could go use that information.
It's just,
write it down.
I don't want you to write yourself out of the scenario that we're in.
At some point, things might go... I can probably do it up to a point where I'm required for the actual heist, and then obviously I have no visibility after that.
And then it's a chaotic system. So.
Yeah, the only thing is, what I will say is that the information that you get from the future won't tell you how you did the heist, because it
can't tell you how you did.
Yeah. You still have to have a plan for doing the heist now,
not just. They told us though.
Okay,
what does it say, Shamini?
Not just this is how we do it, and it all works.
I could see. like as part of like the egress plan, you're not part of the egress. You watch the cameras for that period of time, and you have now fed that back to the just before stealing the chrono shift Rafis. It means that you are around less for the latter part of the thing. But,
Maybe,
or I could do it the other way around.
do it the other way.
Yeah, so we could get a sense of how everybody's moving, so we get there, and then I can.
And then maybe something happens, but we don't, and you just get a bit of paper that's only got instructions up till that point.
Yeah, so I have this. I take out my instructions, which are in the form of a PDA, like one of those old 2005, and with a little stick pen. I'm just sort of shifting through them, and you see.
Okay, wait a sec.
So wait, how are you getting them?
First off, what I'm going to say is at this point, as Rafiz, as you are sort of wandering around, having this thought, as you're first thinking, like, I know what I'll do. I'll just write down what I'm seeing, and then tell my future self to tell me this. You see yourself suddenly appear next to you. Will you roll a d20 for me, please?
Oh, oh no.
12.
that's how that works.
12.
Ooh,
12.
that's a lot, actually.
Okay.
Wait, so I have to give myself this thing at this time?
Yes. To make the time loop work, yes.
Balls.
Yeah.
The bootstrap, right.
Okay.
So it can say whatever you want it to say that we can fix later. So, Rafiz, yourself appears.
No.
But they look slightly different. They're sort of like panting a little bit. They are covered in dust and small pieces of plaster and brick. Because you didn't roll a 1 to 4 on the d20, reality is also going to take 1 point of damage. Which also,
what are you damaging reality for? Germany.
Which also brings into play another mechanic that I didn't tell you about.
Oh God.
This is where Nathan is at an advantage because he cleverly
yes.
read the rules. Yeah.
Yeah. So from now on, when you roll a d12, you need to roll, I'm going to say at or, you need to roll above the current level of reality damage. So if you roll a nat 1, you will take 1 strain.
Okay.
And there is only so much strain you can take. So that's,
Do we know how much strain we can take?
It's like 4.
TBC.
Classic.
Charmy's going to change it dependent on how it's going.
Yeah,
okay, great.
I might,
Yeah.
I might want to up the stakes a bit, you know.
That's fair. Mm-hmm.
But you might start disappearing from reality. Yeah.
Excellent.
Unless you bootstrap it to get rid of this. To get rid of it.
Got you.
So Rafiz, you know everything now that's going to happen up until a certain point. Your future self
What's
has already
happening?
observed all this.
So Rafiz, from the future, covered in dust and bits of brick and plaster, hands you a piece of paper, current Rafiz, and disappears off.
Wait, but if we saw you, then we did it, right?
Something happened. It could have that recipes could have come from anywhere from now until any point. I don't know when they come back.
Right.
Wait, let me see. I start reading through the piece of paper. And up until the point, I guess. So what I'm seeing is the different kind of groups that are here, the different the families, like the Infantia here, and the various different sort of mob crime lords. I'm seeing how everybody gets together, the different kind of rumors that are happening, some sort of anything that's strange that happens on the way to people walking towards the chrono shift, and then it just starts to tail off, and then there's nothing after the point where everybody has congregated around the chrono shift. Okay, from what I see here, I think I can get us into position. I know where everyone is going to be up until the point where the chrono shift arrive. At that point, something has happened. You saw the way I look.
Right. Maybe someone just used the loo or something and they had to come in, so you had to go.
Someone needs to use the loo. The whole loo exploded and I get covered in a piece of brick. And
I wasn't going for the whole loo exploded, but maybe, yeah, that does make sense. Or you just did a really big shit. Sorry.
Okay. You start to notice 2 things that are happening around you at this point. First off, everyone is starting to gather in the main hall for the sort of central point of the auction to begin. The other thing that you notice is that you see a few of the sort of security around. They're talking into their earpieces, and you see like just a little bit more movement, like a few people heading towards out the front, where you sort of came from, the entrance, sort of like Docks and Champagne and everything area, and a few people moving around that seem to be sort of looking not at people's faces, but down as they're kind of looking around and moving around the area.
By the way, what was in the safe box?
We haven't opened it yet.
You haven't opened it.
Matt Baker, would you like to open the safe box?
Oh, yeah, yes, with pleasure. I'm just going to imagine it's...
Where are you right now?
We're in the bathroom.
Still in the bathroom? Okay, yeah.
Made your way back. Sure.
Okay, you all recongregate in the bathroom. Also.
Yeah, no, I can recongregate in the bathroom. I did say that I was going.
You
so-
did.
You were going to the bathroom, the others,
the
yeah.
Pulp
I like how we
Fiction
waited for the entire
scene.
tour before we were like, we won't open the box.
It's just
Come
not
back.
polite.
You open the box.
Does that mean the way that went down was that my future self, we heard a knocking on the cubicle door, and I opened it, and it's my future self covered in plaster, hands through this note, and then runs out the toilet.
Also, your reaction to someone knocking on your public toilet door was to open and go, yes.
Can we help
I can't,
you?
it's my future self.
Oh dear.
I need this more than you.
Just know.
Person.
And then the
Inside,
toilet explodes.
as you all congregate, I will just to clarify, it is your responsibility to maintain the integrity of the timeline. I will not make sure things happen in the right way.
We're making notes.
Great, good.
Okay? Yeah.
Inside the lockbox, as you all recongregate in the toilet, are a pair of night vision goggles, a pen that's also a weapons grade laser, and a janitor disguise.
A laser
Laser?
pen,
Janitor disguise.
and janitor.
Okay, so
Night vision.
perhaps we've been looking at this the wrong way. What if we've already got the time machine and we used it to go back in time to replace the time machine with a decoy?
We
And
can't do that, right? In the rules.
Don't
The
think
chrono
you
shift
You
cannot
can't
be
touch. You
time
can't touch the
shifted.
chrono shift.
Okay.
can't mess with it itself, no,
Hmm.
because of time science. obviously.
That's time
Time
science
science.
101.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was actually a really interesting article saying that time loops might actually be possible.
Mm.
Anyway, we'll come back to that later.
Okay, so who wants to go and take what? I'd rather not take the janitor disguise. I'm more than happy enjoying my new hypervillain status.
I'd quite like the goggles,
I see no
but
issue
I mean,
with
just
that.
because they kind of fit the aesthetic, you know.
What is happening with all those
But what are we doing with
planes?
them?
Happening with all those.
Planes.
Oh, I mean, there's like a valet that's been picking up all these seaplanes, I guess, and putting them in the little airport.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, interesting.
Everybody has their own one, apparently. If you're a hypervillain, you get your own seaplane,
Yeah, that's how that works.
as well as like a commemorative coin.
The Villain Con 2022 badge. that everyone gets. The night vision goggles implies that we've got to do something at night.
I mean, cutting the lights is also an option.
Right.
That would probably
it's
make
outside.
it relatively easy.
The
I
box
could
is
probably do
outside.
that.
The chrono shift is currently outside, but it's going to come into the building for later.
It's going to
Do
be
we
on
want
this
to get it
big
before
slide.
it comes in?
Oh.
And then the big reveal is just that it's not there, but we're gone.
There's such a theatre to stealing it in front of everyone, though. Where's that hypervillain essence
Yeah, but-
within you, Scythe?
No, imagine when they take the thing off and there's just like, you
A
know,
calling card.
something else there. Yeah. And it could say Nemesis on it, and I'd be like, hacked you again. And then run away.
Well, at the very least, that is actually an astounding misdirection if the light cuts before the box opens, but it had already been stolen before. They may think,
One of the other villains in the room did it.
oh, I love that. And I am begging for an opportunity to punish accuse of some of those bastards who turned me down last year.
This is a really good idea because the one thing we know is that none of these people are going to trust each other. They know exactly the kind of people they are. If we can start to sow the seeds of some kind of mistrust, of potentially another plan going down, maybe we can steer it away from us.
Do you have, did your future self have the CCTV blind spot of where the box is just before it arrives in the building?
Oh, that's really interesting. Maybe I check my little, I have a little map in there.
roll just for straight luck for me
Okay. There's a 20.
with a d12. Sorry.
There's a 12.
There is a one specific point just as it comes down the hill where it kind of goes next to a tree and a lake with a little duck in it. And at that point, the CCTV just doesn't quite overlap.
Interesting.
If only we could fly a plane or something, we could take it from there.
Or somebody who could dive from a large height with the gymnastic skills to be able to do so.
I could probably move the cameras so they're not pointing at you at any point.
So, what? Is the plan then that I disguise myself as a janitor to go through the crowd without being noticed, climb up to the top of the building,
Right.
discard the janitor disguise, and then, as the box is passing through the camera blind spot, I jump off of the building, grab it, use the laser to cut it open. Do I land on the box? Use the laser to cut it open from the side, put something else in as a decoy, and then jump off with the time device.
Yeah.
I like it.
Sounds good.
Sounds like you've come up with a plan. So yeah.
Is there a plane involved in this? I couldn't quite tell.
Is it coming down the mountain on like any kind of mechanism? Is it mechanical?
What I will say is that it's what is that thing where it's like an air rail where it's like blasting out,
like an air hockey table?
You know, like those magneto trains.
Oh, like
Maglevs.
a maglev train, sure.
Like a maglev, but with air.
Huh.
Like an air
I didn't
hockey
realize you could do
table.
it with air.
Like an air, yes, like an air hockey table.
Surprisingly
Wow.
low tech, this whole affair.
Isn't King de Brunel did a train like the atmospheric railway? He did a test run in Devon.
Huh. I mean, it being mechanical probably means it's harder to hack. So good.
That's
on them for
That's
thinking
why
of that.
I'm. That's.
I mean, you're helping shut the lights off with the night vision.
Right, but that's just for show. We don't really need to do that. I'm just wondering if I could turn the air off for a fraction of a second, it would hit and it would have friction and it would slow down, which would give you more time to get there.
But if we can time it so that everybody is having a big old fight about all the kind of people who are planning to steal different things,
right?
At that point, if Matt Baker can take the chrono shift and be pick up in a plane at that point, then before anybody sees him, we can get rid of it. Then you cut the lights as soon as they come inside the building. Right. People think that that's the point where the chrono shift is gone. All eyes get pointed at everybody in the building because they think that's the person who's
they all start fighting.
Then we fly away.
We're out. Where are we going to be?
You're looking to go get a plane, are you?
We need to get a plane.
Yeah, that's my.
I mean, you've got a plane because you came in a plane.
Oh
you've got a plane.
But like, to go wander off to go get the plane. Sure.
Get it, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so we need people to. Matt Baker's plan is pretty set.
Yeah.
Nemesis is certainly going to be hacking into the lights and turning it off. And
I would like to try and slow down the air supply. So cut the air supply for a second so that it stops and like slowed, so it gives Matt Baker a bit more time.
Love it. You can kind of do that from anywhere, I think, with your laptop.
Yeah.
What about Dr. Shelby and Rafiz?
I am going to go to that little convention hall with all the hypervillains there and cause a fucking problem.
Yes.
And Rafiz, you need to be up until the last minute. You need to be observing and noting down where everyone is.
Oh God, you're totally right. I jinxed myself on that one. Yes, exactly. So
I'm keep writing
get
down.
To the plane. I'm gonna have to run to the plane. Okay.
Your timing's quite tight.
I'll go sort the plane.
But then,
Quentin, you cause a ruckus with the people.
Perhaps you're in the plane and then dive out of the plane onto some kind of trash heap. And then that's when you run back, do the whole time jump thing, and give the thing back to you whilst you're covered in all the crap from the debris from landing. Because you got to match how you looked when.
Well,
we could do the time jump. We don't have to jump out of the plane for that.
No, it's just more dramatic.
Yeah.
I have to get back to give myself the thing.
The debris is probably a play and find out kind of thing, but sounds good.
Yeah. Okay, so Matt Baker, you're with me to find a plane for you to jump out of. Or are you jumping off the building?
I'm jumping off. I've got the janitor thing.
Right.
I'm already dressed up like a janitor.
Yeah. And Nemesis is going to the plane.
Rafiz Quentin puts a hand on Rafiz's shoulder. Enjoy writing notes. We'll be back soon.
Okay.
Do I have a laptop? I'm a hacker. I assume I have a laptop and like a tablet.
Yeah, sure.
I'm going to put the CCTV onto my tablet so I can take my laptop and leave my tablet with him for him to watch the
With
CCTV.
Rafiz.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, with them. Okay, great.
Can I just
I'm
ask
sorry.
before we go?
Yeah.
Is there anything that I have seen in
Yeah.
my notes
Yeah.
which I've not told them, which
Yeah.
could happen, while I'm watching?
So
That's a fun question the dice might answer.
It is. You can see that some sort of ruckus occurs, and that there's a group of people standing around something, but you kind of can't see through them what exactly is going on.
Let's go.
Muy bien.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay. What order is this happening? Because my brain is
I'm
melting.
going to put on the janitor costume, and I'm gonna masquerade as one of the maintenance people, like I've made films about before.
Matt Baker, roll for masquerading.
BBC's Matt Baker.
BBC's Matt Baker, roll.
BBC's Matt Baker.
That is a 4.
well,
4.
because you are using one of those secret items, you can burn that. Not literally, but to force that to be a success, as I understand the rules.
Yes.
I love that you've read the rules, Nathan. Really
I
just
hate
been
that
like,
you read
oh
the
well.
rules, Nathan, because now I can't just cheat and change the rules.
It only works once, so you can't use it to force a success for every
Yeah.
janitor thing you
Right.
do.
Yeah,
But
correct.
for one of them, you can.
I feel like that's an important one to go off right at the very start of the plan.
But you're
To
burnt
wear
your
it.
use of the janitor costume for an automatic success, and you blend in perfectly as a janitor.
Got a very generic face. It's like someone made a character in Skyrim, put all the sliders on the
It
middle.
really is, and I love
Does
it.
your face need to be made more generic?
Yeah,
Because we have someone
apparently.
who does that.
How?
Yeah, very
You
have
well.
a
like
whole
move
side.
your parting to the other side and
Yeah.
go like, oh yes.
I've never
Centre
met this
parting.
man before in my life. Yeah.
Okay, what's next?
I'll go to the plane.
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
go to them.
Wait, have you done your hacking yet?
No, I've got my laptop.
Plane, I think.
That'll be later.
Just
I'll
working
go plane
fine.
first.
Okay, yeah.
Be like, is the pilot there?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a pilot?
I'm gonna say the pilot isn't necessarily in the plane at the moment because
Ah.
it's not time to go yet.
As I go,
You could go up to the concierge. You could get the pilot called. You could be like, I'm
No.
leaving now.
I'm going to work out how to fly a plane. Into the plane I go.
Okay,
I
will
can
you
do
roll?
this.
Will you roll to stealth your way into the seaplane parking lot
Sure.
and onto a seaplane without security noticing you?
It's a 12.
Of course it is. You like
She's,
dodge, weave, and you're just like
she's playing spy,
sounds.
but actually really good at it.
yeah. And you just like freeze up against play, and then you kind of run. Yeah.
Naruto running.
And you easily into the seaplane. You're there at the cockpit with your laptop and the controls of a seaplane.
Excellent. Fly.
Who's next?
No, I think I make my way into the kind of like main conference hall of hypervillains. Can we let's invent a hypervillain who I fucking hate.
Rival. Yeah.
Elon Musk.
Yes.
We can square the circle.
Elon Musk.
We can square the circle and have them be part of a media empire that has made many obnoxious movies across the last couple decades, and they've used that kind of like media clout to do their hypervillainy.
But
It is-
Minions has already gone by this point.
But who's to know that there's a wide variety? Illumination Studios themselves have done a wide variety of very bad movies. But
What else did they do?
oh god, they did like Sing and
I haven't seen this thing.
Good.
Are you aware of
Is there
the
something that
season
filled the
bits
vacuum
of
in this
everything?
universe, though? Is there like
Yeah, I
an
assume
underlings
there is
movie
some
series?
other.
There is.
Yeah.
There's an underling. There's this chap called Daniel, and Daniel's only ever the sort of like, second string and never really sort of on anyone's radar, in like previously, but now suddenly they're blossoming and they're having all these ideas. And I think Dr. Shelby, you'd be quite worried that they might have ideas relating to films, children's appealing films about hypervillains, and you're a bit worried about Daniel.
Oh, that's great, because they're like normalizing the idea of hypervillains through normalizing it through media. Oh, that's genuinely. Ooh. Okay. Yeah. Daniel, did you say?
Daniel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So we step into the function. We're still elegant, and I think there's canapes. Shrimp cocktail just around. People have surprisingly low tech, like little paper plates that they're carrying the things over.
Shrimp cocktails.
Mm-hmm. And Quentin walks straight up to Daniel. I think he has the type of shoes that click as they walk across hard surfaces. So you hear him before he arrives. Absolutely. And just click, 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 click. Oh, Daniel. Why the fuck are you here? And he would just with one sweep just kind of like pushes the kind of shrimp cocktail up into his chest. Shrimp cocktail splashes everywhere. Gets at least 2 other people next to him.
There's not even time for anyone to react. No one even sees this coming as he's like turning and being like, huh? It's like, oh no, shrimp, oh no. People are screaming, like this one being like, I'm allergic to shrimp. Get out, God. Shrimp is flying everywhere. People he looks absolutely furious, like, hey, what the heck? Starts coming towards you. Starts trying to have a go at you. Would you like to roll?
Oh, I would absolutely love to roll to fight this man.
Yeah, roll for literal just having a little bust up, if that's what you like. Yeah.
Also, note that, since he's clearly been invited and knows that I am not supposed to be here, that's a 5.
It is a 5. Would you like to? Okay, what I'll say is, with one punch, Daniel, surprisingly strong, knocks you to the ground, and you are just sort of completely just sort of like flat on your back and winded for a second. Sort of like people are sort of like half-heartedly being like, Daniel, no, but he's just like, he's coming for you again.
Do I see this?
Yes.
I'm watching.
You're watching
CCTV.
everyone. Yeah.
Okay. Can I use that? Is it a laser pointer or a laser that we got?
A laser.
It's like an actual laser, though. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to shine the actual laser into Daniel's eyes. I'm trying to hit them.
Okay.
Wait, but how?
You're
Are you in the toilet?
Aren't you observing from the toilet?
You're in the
That sounds
cubicle.
Are you watching CCTV or are you in the room?
Oh, I sort of imagine myself like blending amid the crowd, like watching everybody.
You have got the tablet now,
Yeah.
so
so I can watch it.
I think that's a cool idea, but hold on to that since that's an automatic success for later, because I want to use, rather than the jokey one from before, an actual bootstrap to a hand comes in from off frame and it's like covered in hair, like, and is super bulky. And we see Quentin Shelby with one like gorilla-esque arm having grabbed almost entirely around like the upper right side of his body and just flings him backwards into a wall.
Yes.
Hey.
Like with a proper Dragon Ball Z crater impact.
Current Quentin, you just sort of see this blurrily from below as Daniel goes flying. And will you roll a d20?
Yes, please. Oh, that's quite high. That is a 12. Oh, also covered in brick dust. Perfect.
Also covered in dust, brick, and plaster. This is exciting. I love it. And with one very, very hairy, bulky hand, as you're sort of watching, melts back into the crowd, disappears. Daniel is out of it, just sort of sliding.
To retcon, I think he's flung into the ceiling, but
Nice.
crunch into the ceiling. And in that kind of like blurry moment, Quentin looks at his future self and is like, damn, I am hot. Moving on.
Amazing. Daniel gets flung up, knocks one of the ceiling panels aside, and then ends up sort of half stuck in the ceiling, like not
Like a
afraid to let go.
cartoon,
He's gonna fall down again. So he's kind of like, oh help, give me in the ceiling. Everyone's sort of crowding round. Everyone's sort of very frantic. What's everyone doing?
On the way to the roof of the building,
Yeah.
I'm jumping off. Can I pick up something like I need a replacement item to put in the crate. So I'm thinking I want to pick something that people could conceivably think is a time machine if they'd never seen it before.
Okay. Yeah.
Like a fire extinguisher or something.
Oh
Where
my
it's
God.
like people would take a little while to suss out that, wait a minute, I think that's just a normal fire extinguisher.
I think there probably would be fire extinguishers in the building. That seems like a sensible thing for there to be. Do you want to
The hypervillains, not careless.
maybe roll to find one?
A
though?
coffee maker.
Roll
Coffee
to
machine.
find a
Roll
coffee
to find
maker.
something, yeah.
Yeah. I'll look for I'll look for a coffee maker. They look like time machines. That is that's a 2 on a roll to find coffee maker.
As you're walking, you can't find everything here is kind of like really neat and clean. There's a sprinkler system. Can't find the kitchens. Got nothing.
Damn it.
Do it.
So actually, and I wanted to. No, I've solved my own problem. I wish it was that easy in real life. On the way to the ceiling, what are you going to find on the way to? Fuck it, like a pencil. I'm just going to pick up a single pencil or something that's just like laying
Oh
on
gosh,
a table.
Matt, is it a blue Peter badge you leave behind?
Ah! I obviously carry them in the inside of my coat.
Of course you do.
At all times. Yes, perfect. Now suspect that bitch Connie Huck. The real super
We need to
villain.
leave Connie
of
Huck
Blue
alone.
Peter.
Again,
Connie
text
Huck.
appears at the bottom of the screen. Any names,
Yeah.
real or
not
fictional, and
representatives.
do
Yeah,
not
not
equate
the views
to
of the
people in real
RPGs.
life.
Yeah. Okay, you find you have a blue Peter badge on you.
I make way to the
You're-
roof.
You're there. I'm going to say, roll me one last. No, that's fine. Actually, you already rolled your janitor automatically success. You make it to the roof of the fancy building, and you can see in front of you the slopes of the volcano. And as you look up, you see this small item at the top start to move and start to come down the slope, gliding beautifully, dramatically, seeming to float apparently on nothing. Anyone else?
Well, I want to get prepared to
Yeah.
shut the air off and the lights.
Okay, you do some hacking. Should we say air first? Roll a d12
Yeah.
for me.
Where's my other d12?
Surely that's.
Yeah, 10.
Oh yeah, there was that with advantage as well. Yeah, great. You have it there now. You can turn the air off at the precise right moment, any moment
Cool.
you like.
I also need to take off in the plane, I guess.
Yeah, roll to fly a plane.
10 would have been pretty
Stephanie.
useful.
Yeah, 14-year-old Stephanie, go. It's 12.
Are you kidding me?
I'll take a picture of it. That's my phone.
This guy's fucking waited.
Oh my
That's so
god!
It's a different
talented.
one to the one I was using. It's a 12.
Nothing going in dice jail today.
They're
No.
all staying. They're
I
my
was going
favourite.
to the dice spa. It's getting pampered after this.
Never using another D12 in my entire life. Eat both of them. Can stay forever.
I have 2 tiny little cucumber slices on one of its faces, a little towel.
On the 8, yes.
Yes.
I said to, that's my dice. My beautiful, beautiful dice.
Amazing.
Wow. That's a 12.
That's a 12.
Stephanie, you have done many.
I had a really cool idea for how to do the
Microsoft Flight
bootstrap, but
Simulator. you know exactly what you're doing. You don't know exactly what you're doing, but somehow it works anyway.
I get a YouTube video up
think you
and
do.
I'm just following it as I go.
Yeah,
Just like-
it's mostly luck. Like you think you're like, yeah, I know exactly how to do this, and you don't, but it works. So you never realize that, that your confidence was misplaced because you
Teenage.
take off from the seaplane parking lot. You hear a few shouts behind you as people think obviously someone is stealing one of the seaplanes.
This is mine.
Quickly fade away, and you loop back round towards the island.
Okay, I want to try and get a view of the slope so I can press the button to turn the air off when
You are
Matt's in
coming
position.
towards the slope. The chronoshift in its box is coming down the slope. You can see a janitor on top of the roof,
Nice.
poised, waiting.
Okay.
Is there anyone
Can
else?
I?
Yeah.
Sorry, I want to, before we trigger the plan. As soon as Harry Quentin has bounced out, I want to start getting into the crowd and start whispering in people's ears. I believe that is one of the microchipped cats that they are using to take over the world. I have heard many stories about this. And then I just want to sow the seeds of division and suspicion.
Amazing.
Nice.
Roll with advantage for your mastermind plans.
Yeah, it's a 12.
Of course it is. I had.
We're insane.
Why would we doubt this? Of course it's a 12. We can only roll 12s.
We need to have dice cams to prove.
Yeah, we really do.
Everyone is starting to get very, very paranoid, very anxious. The person whose plan it was with the microchip diggers is just like, fucking hell, everyone's getting on.
It doesn't even look like a cat.
I was going to put little ears on them.
Of course he would say that.
Everyone's getting very tense. Security have come running in to try and work out who it was who punched Daniel into the ceiling. But like that person seems to have disappeared. Everyone's like, what's going on? Outside, you hear like more security, like something seems to be happening out there as well. Is there anything else before we pull the trigger on the final moment? Is there anything else anyone would like to do?
Just want to be ready to swoop down and pick up Matt Baker and the Corona shift.
Okay, so at this point, Stephanie,
Button.
The air suddenly drops. The box hits the ground. It's still sliding. Matt Baker, would you please make a roll with advantage as you leap?
Jacket off. Uses it as a rudimentary parachute off the side of the building.
Yes.
Do you just like proper tuxedo mask? Just pull
with a tuxedo underneath. Is the thing.
Fit.
Yes, that is what we want.
Right, with advantage, that's a 10.
Perfect. You
We're so
you
good.
leap off. You land. You stumble slightly. You manage to turn it into a roll, and you pick up this very ornamental. You're there with this very ornamental gold antique looking box with a lid that opens. What would you like to do?
Can I open the lid? Yeah. I would absolutely do that.
You flick it up. Inside, a strange device, sort of round, sort of slightly glowing and sparkling with strange hair-like fibers coming off it. You grab it, place in there a Blue Peter badge, close the lid. Stephanie, what are you doing?
I'm going down to pick him up.
Okay, you swoop in with the plane. Roll me one more plane driving roll. One more.
Shit.
D12,
Oh no.
please.
Oh no.
This-
How do I
this-
even chrono
this is-
shift with it?
250 miles an hour. We're picking someone up from the ground.
Oh, it's not as good as it has been before, everyone. That's a 4. It had to
4.
happen.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a 4. You realise as you're going down that this is not really what seaplanes were built for. Matt Baker's on the ground. The seaplane has these big sides. Matt Baker, there's a seaplane coming towards you very, very fast. It's coming a little bit too low. It's still not kind of low enough for you to like get in the door or anything. It's quite fast. What would anyone like to do?
Can I use a bootstrap? That sounds like a problem for future me.
I think it might be. What happens?
I think what happens is as the plane is coming down, another plane swoops in from above with a hook and just like grabs the nose of the seaplane and pulls it up a bit, and then another hook comes down and like hooks onto the back of Matt Baker and lifts him up, and so there's a plane with a plane and a Matt Baker hanging off of it.
I can sense this could get out of hand very quickly. This could be like Discworld, kind of like stacking of planes.
Okay. As you're in this seaplane and you see this hook, you get a glimpse of this other plane and you get a glimpse through the cockpit. Would you roll me a d20, please?
I was going to say, I don't know how I didn't read the rules. Can it be like much older Stephanie who's like taken time to train to be a pilot to be able to come back and do this?
It can.
And then I'll still roll the d20.
Yes. You got a 1?
Yeah.
Great.
Oh,
Amazing.
oh, I
Brilliant.
thought that was bad. No, it's good.
That's really
you
good.
just look older and there's nothing else wrong
Yeah.
about it.
She's fine. She looks
Yeah,
older, wiser,
that's
and
amazing.
hot. I want to be very clear. She looks incredible. Like,
Okay, so
she looks
we're going to
rich.
have to
She's
narrow
got,
down
like, a
how
black
old this
suit.
version is.
I think she's 30.
Mhm.
So, like,
okay.
she's looking great. And she's got, like, hair slicked back, up in, like, a really neat bun with, like, a little bit falling out the front. She's wearing, like, a black suit with, like, a gold clasp around it. And she, like, black leather gloves. And she just looks bomb. Rich, expensive, cool.
Okay.
And fit. I want to be
At this
no
point-
wedding ring.
At this point, the plane and Matt Blaker are being towed away
She
by
winks
old-
at Matt Baker.
by old Stephanie Christ in another plane. The chrono shift is like screeching down the hill. Air having been turned off. Are you gonna? Did you turn it on again?
I thought Matt had it. The plane had the chrono.
Not the chrono shift. Sorry, the box that the chrono shift.
I was
is
like,
in.
wait.
That's key.
Oh, I'll turn it back on. Seeing that my plane's being
Comes back
carried.
up again. The supposed chrono shift box continues its glide down, only slightly delayed. A pair of gold curtains open for it, close again, and for those of you
Lights.
in the hall, you see the box appear. You see it just about to arrive onto its final stand when,
Bam.
boom, I will say this just happens. All of the lights go out.
Meanwhile, after the kind of like everybody had started fighting, Quentin just kind of like walks outside to the duck pond and the gardens outside and sees the plane take off.
Yeah, you see all of this, yeah.
And so how does the chrono shift work in terms of giving us the powers to leap? Do I have to physically touch it myself?
Yeah, you have to touch it, yeah.
Gotcha.
So right now, me and Matt Baker have it.
You can see it's sort of flying away in a very odd system that only a very competent pilot could possibly have pulled off.
Quentin says to himself, well, I suppose it's time. And I was looking forward to trying this on myself anyway. Time to create some real art. And he pulls a syringe out of his pocket and jams it into his own chest. And the DNA splicing of gorilla courses through his body.
Amazing. As this is happening, you hear a voice behind you. Dr. Shelby, there you are. I was waiting for you to come back from the bathroom.
Oh, I'm sorry. Things got a little heated inside and I needed to go and get some fresh air. But now that you're here. And he kind of moves over to him and kind of like puts a hand gracefully alongside his cheek.
Not a gorilla hand, just a normal
No,
hand.
just a regular one for now.
Okay.
And says, I'm afraid with time we must all go to change. I've still not managed to achieve my ideal body yet. But on the other side of it, if you still like what you see, give me a call. And then it starts to transform proper werewolf in London style. It's like gross as the like elegantly fitted shirt and like blazer bursts off his arm. And it's just kind of like he raises his arm into the air as it just kind of sprouts with hair, sprouts with power, and is like, I have to go and retrieve a friend. Excuse me. And turns to a wall and instead of like trying to go and open a door, just punches that motherfucker through.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Neil is just left sort of just flabbergasted, barely able to speak as you punch through the wall into this main area. It's straight through into just like the main area, but like chaos is already happening at this point. It's barely noticing. Rafiz, it's dark. What are you doing?
Okay, I want to see if you'll allow me this, because this is intimately linked to my character's backstory, which you may remember is pretty cryptic.
Oh yeah, surprising.
That's all we know.
Wow, Ali with the secret backstory, huh?
Shocking everyone.
You see, Rafiz starts reaching out through the crowd, and they're listening for a voice. And amid the shouting and the hullabaloo, they hear it at last. What is going on? What's happening? What's happening? A voice much like Rafis's own. Rafis follows the voice closer and closer. What has happened now? What is going on? Who is doing this? They reach out, they touch the arm, they feel it, a small arm, a small figure. And then Rafis pulls them close, says, it's time. And then you hear, or they hear the other voice, pause for a second. Rafis? Okay, now we are even. Rocket boots, they just straight out of the roof. Rafis holding onto this figure, and as they smash through the roof, chasing after the plane with the chrono shift in, the moonlight hits their face, and you see a similar, very, very similar short blonde hair, a scar over the other side of the face.
The other side?
Twin.
Evil twin.
Oh, that's the good twin.
Or the good twin.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
An
And they
extra
head
evil twin.
Okay.
Towards the plane with the chrono
You
shift.
burst through the roof. I presume in the process just getting covered in dust and plaster. I will say that that you shoot out the roof, and just as Dr. Quentin Shelby bashes in one wall, there's now two sources of light in this very dark room. There's a hole in the wall. And there's a hole
Sorry.
in the
I should have mentioned. To be clear, that's a time thing that I just did there.
Very confused about which
Is it?
about. I'm very confused.
Is it? You said it was your evil
I
twin.
had to make that happen. I had
Yeah.
to change something in time.
Who did you want
Oh, I
yourself
think I see
appear?
what you're doing. Okay.
I don't understand.
To have my evil twin be there for me to be able to escape like that,
Yeah.
I had to go back and change something in time.
You can't change anything. Time's linear in this game.
As
You
in,
don't
when
have
I
the
hit-
chrono shift just yet, so you're not in a position to necessarily go and.
Your future self can.
Yeah.
If you
So your future, what's
right,
your
right.
future self done at this point? You have to, What your future self? What's your future self done?
My future self has done something way back in the past.
Okay.
So as soon as I hit the chrono shift, I'm going to go back to the past and
Yeah.
do something which is going to allow that to happen.
Okay. So you're not going to tell us what it is. There's a mystery thing that future you has to do.
But do I have to do some rolling or something to make it happen?
So
You have to
the
roll
way
a
that this
D20, right?
largely works is that rather than you doing something, it is your future self who does a thing that's a mystery to you until it happens. And then when you see them, you roll a d20 to see how they look different. So if that happened and you rescued your twin, it would be your future self doing that, and you've seen them do it.
So when I get to that point, I've got to roll that die.
Yeah. So you see a future version of yourself rescue your twin, roll a d20 and see what they might look like or not.
But they'll have done it way back in the past.
yeah.
What I will say, I think this is also fine for the D20s at the moment because we're like wrapping up soon anyway. What I will say is that have you got the idea? Does current Rafis have an idea for what they're going to do in the future?
Yeah.
Okay, so I will say at the point where current Rafis has the idea, you have sort of committed to going and doing it, which means you know that it's already been done, which means you know that your evil twin is here when they otherwise wouldn't have been, and they have rocket boosters. Okay. I will say in this case you haven't seen your future self, so I won't. Well, I'll roll a d20 for reality anyway.
19.
19. Okay.
That's
That's
high.
a lot of reality breaking.
Yeah, reality takes 2 points. Is now on 2 points of damage.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. In fact, I'm just going to leave that there. So
No.
yeah, you just had this
Nathan
idea, so
does.
you know what you know what it is. None of the rest of us do, but it now has to happen, otherwise you will disappear from reality. Yeah,
Okay, so I got to do this, right?
at some
Okay.
point. Okay. Dr. Quentin Shelby, you see what appears to be Rafis zoom through the roof, making another hole in the roof, which you could,
Yeah, no, gotcha. So my new current plan, I kind of burst back into that room to go and grab Rafis, and it's like, oh, never mind. But there's now a hole in the ceiling. So Rafis now with his giant gorilla arm can very easily kind of like I think he hand plants to push himself up into the air, grabs a chandelier, climbs up to the top of that and out the hole that future Rafis left a hole in.
Also
just
covered
to
in
get
dust
up onto the roof.
and
I'm happy to
rubble.
roll to go and do that feat of acrobatics to get up there.
No, that's right. You've got a gorilla arm.
Yeah. And, the plane loops back round. Or hopefully it's doing donuts so I can actually also get the chrono shift. Because if you fly away, we're fucked.
Yeah. What I will say is that future Stephanie, obviously knowing exactly where you're going to be, does a loop relatively high up, Rafis with the rocket boots into the plane, Matt Baker acrobatically swinging into the plane.
I want to aim them into the bottom plane though, not
into the bottom plane.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. And Dr. Shelby into the bottom plane, at which point the hook disappears, and future Stephanie
Into the sunset.
She does, however, the older Stephanie comes back, does like one loop round and like blows kisses at all of the boys, and then, repeats and then sails off again.
Amazing.
And younger Stephanie's like, "Who is that? Did anyone?" She's cool.
Tell you.
Very attractive lady who's just flying that plane. Very well.
I think. Wait, is that my birthmark? Wait. She clocks.
Perfect. Okay, I actually, this is like super late, but do people want a 5-minute break?
Really
We haven't
badly.
braked this whole time.
really
I'm so sorry.
thirsty,
I'm so sorry. It's really hot. I'm so sorry. Right, we will be back, everyone, in about 5 minutes. Thank you very much for joining us.
Back soon.
See you in a bit.
Welcome back, everyone. Thank you. No.
Someone turned their camera off
Yes.
in the break.
Oh.
Yeah. Right.
Am
Everyone
I
change-
supposed to not do that? You didn't say.
No, that's entirely our fault.
We
for
never
not
say.
saying.
We always forget, and we do it to ourselves as well.
But
Right.
Nathan, you're in charge now. You are the DM on our screen.
All right. Hell yeah.
Simon, move the boxes around.
Nathan's actually read the rules. It's fine.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Just carry on, and no one will notice on the stream. I'll play this
That's
off
a
really
lie.
cool. Okay.
That's a lie. But yeah, let's keep going.
Yeah,
Okay,
Get Sharmony in the right place.
Yes.
I'm working on it.
welcome back, everyone. Everything is fine. There is no need to worry about anything. We're back with part 2 of our time heist one shot. Now, this is where things get a little bit interesting because we have had complex plots going on that have enabled our team of master criminals, maybe not quite hypervillains, maybe wannabe hypervillains, to steal the chrono shift that was due to be auctioned off in front of the noses of now very many sort of confused and angry hypervillains who you've left behind. You find yourselves on a seaplane flying around and above the island, Crypta Island, which is where a lot of the events take place. So this is good because what you can do now is travel back in time because you have a time machine. It is here in front of you. It is here in your hands. You know how to work it. You can jump back to any point. You will still be in the air.
Mm-hmm.
You could make.
We could go land.
What I'm going to say is that you can take the whole seaplane if necessary.
I mean, we might be warping.
We can warp the seaplane.
Yeah.
Oh, do we all have to walk together?
Do we all have to go together?
You don't have to go together, but you can if you want. You can take the seaplane. You can leave the seaplane. You can whatever you like. We have a list of things that happened in the first half where we know that someone from the future came back and changed the past. Now, all of that has to happen. Otherwise, both reality will get damaged and individual ones of you will disappear from existence. Now, while you're doing this, you no longer have the help of your future selves. I'm going to use the rule that says that you cannot bootstrap a bootstrap. In other words, you cannot go back in time to help yourself, go back in time to help your past self, which means that a lot is now resting on the roles of a D12. I will also say once you are back in time, in a lot of these instances, if you jump back, you will be seen. You cannot then jump back again and try to do it again, because there were not multiple ones of you visible there the first time round. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
You only have one shot.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Is that right? Is that good? Okay. We can do this in any order. So, does anyone have an idea for what they would like to do first?
Oh, baby, do I.
I mean, you got the arm.
Yeah.
So, Quentin turns to the three of you, having extended a hand towards the chrono shift, and I think you described it as an object with like wispy tendrils of light, right? And I think some of those like move from the chrono shift and almost weave themselves into his body physically, like ensnare with his being, and then his eyes glow this like radiant gold now that he has the chrono shift within himself. I have to make a quick jump. Excuse me.
Would you like me to land the plane? Okay.
And with the gorilla arm, just jumps off and is diving towards the like large pond in the gardens, and then he immediately jumps to like 2 years ago.
Oh.
Okay.
2 years ago.
Great. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
2 years ago was the first year that Daniel and his media company were just debuted as hypervillains. He was the minion of the big honcho at the time, a dude called Chris Commandant.
Any resemblance to any characters, living or dead, is entirely coincidental.
Chris Commandant is a name that I made up. It's fine.
Oh, thank goodness! I thought we were gonna murder an actual film.
No.
Great,
No.
Just quite fake.
And Chris Commandant is, I think, enjoying his first glass of champagne, and is about to go tell somebody about his fantastic new idea for a movie series. Which, feel free to go and take the voice of Chris Commandant if you want. I mean,
oh yeah, I just had this great idea, and I'm like, okay, so can you imagine?
Bang on.
Wham! Big splash outside.
Oh God! What the heck? I thought this was luxury resort. I'm so kidding. Well, how you doing?
Oh, it is a luxury resort. I'm in the lap of luxury today. You don't know who I am, but
What?
you're about to cause a big problem to everybody's lives. And shall I roll for violence? Or discretionary shot?
What? Maybe depends what you're trying to do.
This is essentially removing this idea from the timeline, and that can scale between me terrifying him with my presence to just make him delete that idea, or he goes. Either is fine. It depends what rating this movie is.
Okay. I think if we want to, I mean, I think we could you're criminals. You can murder a
Hollywood. It's probably gonna,
yeah. Sure.
There's some discretionary violence that occurs.
Roll a d12, and I'll say with your gorilla arm, you only need to get an 8.
Sure.
Succeed.
Ooh. Oh, that is a 9. That was cutting that close. We get a discretionary shot. I think somebody who has like a large margarita and watching this violence entirely unfazed. These are hypervillains. They know what's up. And like an eyeball flies from out of camera and lands in the margarita.
Yes, absolutely. Perfect. The someone is also running up with a towel, and you just see the sort of splat of red on the white towel that they were bringing to mop them up.
And with the knowledge of the layout of this building, of what Neil has told me, I know that there is an elaborate basement where janitors are doing all sorts of different pieces, quite maze-like. He vanishes down there for the next 2 years.
Okay, amazing. You are living roll to be undiscovered for 2 years of living in the basement of the building on the island.
Absolutely. I want to become like a cryptid of this place. A proper urban legend kind of deal.
You're like the person.
The cryptid of Crypta.
Oh my god, that is a 1. That's a 1. I definitely caused myself some strain damage.
Take
for failing
1 point
the
of
roll.
strain from that. And there is so at this point you are discovered after what I will say is it's nearly 2 years have gone by that you've been living in this basement, and then they know they got this big auction coming up, so they decide to do an extra thorough security sweep, and you are discovered there in the basement. What would you like to do?
Absolutely.
You still, I'm going to say that when you jump with the time machine, you have the time machine.
Yeah, I assumed that, interacting with the chrono shift gives you the chrono shift ability.
Sure. Okay. Yes.
Because otherwise, I would take it and then it would screw over everyone else.
Okay. You have the power of 2 jumps in it. You have a power a jump out and a jump back.
Cool. So I'm discovered. I see. I think we go and give them a proper like Scooby-Doo runaround of the basement.
Yikes!
Yes. Or actually, no. What we're going to do is that we're going to stab ourselves again with another syringe that we have on hand, and I give myself power of chameleon.
Yeah, that's how you get out of the party as well without being seen.
Chameleon gorilla.
Yes.
My God, that's terrifying.
Yeah, they could be in this room right now.
Roll advantage for chameleon.
Roll advantage for hiding with your chameleon
wall.
powers.
It's like fucking Predator.
Thank God one of those is a 10.
Amazing. You disappear in the basement and they're just like, where did that gorilla person go? And was like, there's not a gorilla person living in the basement. Like,
that's silly. Don't be silly.
Claire, we know that you're really into these conspiracy theories, but there's never been a gorilla person living in the basement. No, but I saw her. Oh, we were chasing. Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's me for a while. So
okay.
People do their time.
Okay, we'll leave that for now.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else?
Mine will take quite a while.
I don't actually have a loop to close here.
Your Rafiz, I mean, I can't go until it's years in the future. So
okay, I think I can do mine. So hang on. So can I still touch the chrono shift even though Quentin has
and you can zap the power of two trips from it, 1 trip to wherever you want and 1 trip back to the future.
Okay, so
the present now.
So I Rafiz reaches out, touches the chrono shift. The plane now, it's just Rafiz alone and flying this plane.
Where did you just jump to? I'm so confused.
So we're in the same place, right? We have to jump to the same location. So
I can land the plane.
But it's
okay. So you're taking, you're jumping. You're jumping. If you jump back in time, you're jumping back in time with the plane.
Yeah, I might have to do that.
You can. It removes the plane from the present.
So you're falling with the chrono shift?
Probably, yes.
I have places to go, so I may have to take the plane.
You know
I'm
what?
sorry, guys.
Fine. The plane,
but we could also kill if we die.
Disappears. Yeah, it would like everything would break. But what happens right now is the plane and Rafiz disappear. You, the 2 of you, Matt Baker, Nemesis, and a time machine are falling from the sky. Okay, we're going to come back to that in a minute.
I can't go back yet.
No, we don't need to. We just need to make sure that he pops back with the plane for like.
Oh, I see. Yes, once he does
future.
his jump back. Yeah.
So it's just hopefully what it will pan out is like, ha! Oh, we're fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Rafiz, you're alone in a plane in the past. What would you like to do?
So I fly back towards London, back towards a square. You might remember the square of the first interplanetary banking system of the city of London. You can see flames looking out of the top of it. You hear the sirens going off, and I will just bring the plane to land on the Serpentine. I'm going to get out and run towards the hiding. What do you call those things? Like the bolt hole, hiding place that everybody's going to meet up after a heist, right? And I'm going to and it's this old building in Notting Hill, one of those old Notting Hill sort of terraced houses, right? And I stand outside and I watch as people come in. I watch myself come in, and I watch another person come in who looks just like me, but with a scar on the other side of their face. And I see them carrying big bags with dollar signs on them. And I watch them go upstairs, the light come on at the top. I climb up the fire escape and I climb in through the window, and I hear the sounds of argument. You can never take this from me. We did this job together. No, I am the hypervillain now. It is for me to decide who has the takings. You have no. Anyway, you're a dick. You're absolute dick. I'll kill you for this. Ha! And you hear the sound of smashing, and then I'm going to run in, and you see what looks like two Rafizes, one of whom who has the same scar as me over my left eye, and one of whom has it over their right eye. And the one who is me with it over their left eye is about to cut the throat of the woman over the right eye. And I reach in and I grab their arm to stop them.
Amazing. Which in fact you of course remembered happening all along.
Yeah.
Thus knowing that you would succeed in stealing the time machine.
Yes.
Perfect. I will say you can also do any sort of explanation that you would like at that point. We can skim over that.
Yeah, we'll skim over that. I think it's clear what has happened to you.
Yeah, we sort of fade out on that. What do you do after that? Out of interest.
I mean, get your twins some jet boots, I guess.
I go shopping for some serious costumes. That's what I do.
Then you go shopping for some costumes. Okay, right, great. So Rafiz,
clean yourself up before you do
time
that.
machine.
Right.
Rafiz.
And then
yeah,
I go back to so I drop those off, and then when
you drop the costumes off, right?
When past us have taken off in the plane,
Yeah.
I go back to the Serpentine, back to the plane, which I've covered in one of those swan boats, right?
Right. Yeah.
Plane with a swan on top of it, just like
it's perfectly disguised, and I take off again from the Serpentine quickly back, and then
making you roll for all of this, but I'm having too much of a good time. So fuck it, yes.
And so I'm now flying back, and I exactly the point where I left before, except flying a bit lower. I boost the chrono shift, and hope that they've just fallen directly downwards. That's what I got.
Really
is it?
Oh God, is there something else I have to do?
Yeah.
I have to give myself the. Oh no, I forgot to give myself the paper.
And you've cleaned yourself up.
Did clean yourself
Oh
up.
no.
However, you haven't gone. There's like you have a time machine, right? You have multiple uses of the time machine. You haven't ruined that bit.
Can I give? I'm going
Right?
to give the. Okay, well, if they land in the plane,
Can I? I am
will
going to
give
say.
them the note.
I would like
give
you to
me.
roll a d12 to see how successful you are at flying a plane.
11. I'm so
11,
sorry.
of course. It's fine. It's not even a problem. Why do
We're
that?
so good.
An inconvenience.
There's a moment, Matt Baker and Stephanie Nemesis Smith, where you're falling, and then you're back in the plane again. You appear to
That was really weird.
That was weird.
So you've still got to.
Cool. You got to do another thing. Are you done now then, Rafiz?
I'm gonna, as you climb in, I'm gonna give you, Matt Baker, the note and say, somehow you must dress yourself as me and give me in the past this, and remember to run through a wall, because otherwise we're not fucked.
Why can't you do it?
I fucked it up.
You could go again. They've just.
It's
The
a time,
voice
it's a
of-
time
I'm
machine. You
pretty
can go as
sure-
many times as you like. There's as
Yeah,
much time as
Daddy.
you want.
There's no time. There's no time to discuss this. You have to
Yeah,
go,
Matt Baker,
Baker,
you
go.
do it. Why not?
You have, it's very persuasive, Matt Baker.
I
Right.
don't think Matt Baker has actually had their future self
No, he hasn't.
help.
No,
so
I
guess he's
didn't
free
actually
to do so now.
Yeah.
Right, so it was in the toilets, wasn't it?
Make sure you knock on the door.
Right,
There's also
so
a
on
suitcase
board
full
we
of disguises.
on board we still got the suitcase of
He's
disguises.
done
Yeah,
that,
you've got
though.
the suitcase.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I dress up as Rafiz.
No. You could just take his clothes from now.
Is this the whole Father
Yes.
Ted Christmas special problem? Just like, no, it just seemed like the thing to do.
Rafis is taking their clothes off in the plane as we speak.
Yeah.
Don't take the clothes. Don't argue, Matt Baker.
Stephanie's trying not to look, but staring. And,
Alright. And then, hang on, right. Steph, could you land the plane? Otherwise,
oh, yeah. Yes, sorry. I was. Yep. I'm fine. And
Actually,
I'll go.
no, wait, hang on. make this easier for ourselves. So I'll pop back in time to like how many? I don't know, an hour. How long do we need? I don't know, like 30 minutes before we saw Rafiz. So enough.
You're
time.
falling through the sky.
No, but all of us, as in so the plane as well.
Okay, so all of you now, the plane and all 4 of you go back in time.
Wait, but
3,
no,
I'm not there.
Yeah, 3.
Not-
unless you come back at some
Sorry.
point, though.
I don't need to. I've
You're
almost
never coming
stabilized my loop. So
Yeah.
I'll rejoin you at some point later.
Yeah.
Don't worry about
Okay.
me.
I think this makes it easier. So then I've got to like work my way through. I assume there's some kind of perimeter fence, but like we probably land. You're not going to land at the dock, otherwise the same plane has landed twice.
How different do seaplanes look? Like,
they didn't.
They've got
have this-
markings. They've got like little names.
I don't know that they necessarily they're not looking out for that, are they? Oh, make sure the same seaplane doesn't happen twice.
I think that's just implicit.
you wouldn't be able to get in though because you're not in the system. I didn't hack
Yeah, there only
another
one kind of
person. in.
seaplane
That's true.
anyway.
yeah, you won't be able to get past clipboard.
How could you?
That would be
Yes,
difficult.
because I can't time loop now.
But you do have to go through a wall. You could go through a wall.
Or just cover
Tunnel.
yourself in.
I'm just going to jump out of the plane.
Can I just tunnel
You
under
could
a
be dropped,
fence?
yes.
Yeah, but I've got to
You
survive the landing.
Well,
You're an acrobat.
I'm sorry, I
yeah, that's
can't.
literally what you do.
I don't bend the laws of gravity.
The seaplane can come very low, and you can jump out of it.
Right.
Yeah, but it's
No,
not.
please.
Okay, right. We'll do that. Fuck it.
Okay.
Stall the plane. Get me as close low as possible. I'll just
Yeah.
commando roll out of the plane. You take off.
Yeah, you're already in the past.
Right, run. Run up the hill towards the toilets.
Yeah.
Listen out
Yeah.
for the ones. Oh, that one's for the cat people. That one's for the. Right. That must be this one. And knock
You're
on
not-
the door.
Covered in dust yet.
No, that was from the commando landing.
That's
Went through the-
soil.
Oh, for
What
God's
did
sake.
you?
I thought you were going to go in through the roof of the building to the
Did you go through the
toilets.
roof of the building to the toilets?
We didn't discuss that.
I
You
said
can do what you
it.
want, but what you did was you landed on some ground, and you're not currently covered in plaster or pieces of brick or dust. You're covered in mud.
I didn't realize I had to be so specific in how dirty I got.
You have to have the
It
right
was
kind of
dust and
dirt.
rubble.
Yes, true. Okay. Surely there's construction materials left over from this round the back. Like hypervillains
D12
are all
to
about
find them.
appearances. This is my theory, and so they're
Well-
just going to bung all the excess materials around the back. So I'm
Roll a
just going to go
d12. Go see.
and dirty myself up.
Maybe there
That's
is.
a 3. I don't think there are.
My life depends on this.
Everyone's does.
Yeah.
There's nothing. It's
Well,
very swish.
you cause a time paradox and remove yourself.
I mean,
that
you
doesn't
could just go.
necessarily move me, but
You could just go as well now. We've got the
Really?
chrono shift. Yeah.
So we're doing doubles. We're doing doubles on the chrono
That wouldn't be
shift.
a. Yeah, she said.
Yeah,
you can do
Jeremy
that.
said we can have
Okay.
as many go on it as we
You
want.
can have as many goes as you like, yeah.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
All right, I'll
so-
take
you
your
get
clothes
bonus
off.
points if you do it in one, I guess.
How are you back
Is
in the
there- is
plane? Wait.
Where are so
I'm outside the toilet block, covered in the
And now
wrong
I've not got
kind
any
of
clothes
dirt.
on. Shit!
You've now
Right,
you're
I've got
naked.
I've got no clothes. I can't go again.
Matt Baker is out is around lurking around the toilet box.
Oh, okay.
Slightly muddy.
This is fine.
There's a gorilla.
So,
Shelby.
Oh,
is-
yeah.
at some point during the proceedings of today, there is like I think there's like a master bathroom somewhere in this building.
Yeah.
A ground floor one, and we see Neil and previous Quentin kind of like go in and do the look around and
Do the tour, yeah.
Quentin's like, oh, this is an astounding clawfoot bathtub. Wow. Wouldn't mind taking a bath in that myself, but not for now. Maybe later.
Oh, no, maybe later, yes.
And they leave. And then there's like a couple beats,
yeah.
and then a gorilla armed Quentin comes in
Yeah.
and says, "Oh, I've always wanted to trash a bathroom," and kind of I think takes a proper like cabinet side, like rips a cabinet from the wall,
Nice,
and it still
yeah.
has kind of like plaster and brick where it was attached to the wall. Just kind of tucks it under his gorilla arm and kind of walks away.
Amazing.
Outside, where Matt Baker has 3-point landed the plane, looking very cool, and has been like, "Fuck, that doesn't solve anything, does it?" Coming round the corner is a gorilla-armed Quentin that says,
Are you? Actually, no, I don't. I mean, there's not enough time to explain. Right.
It's pretty obvious who it is. I've not changed much aside from maybe I look
the
2
gorilla
years
arm is
older.
new to me.
Yeah. You owe me big time for this. I say that hey, if I help you avoid being removed from existence, I get to splice any one animal with you, huh?
Sheepdog.
Or she.
That's some Full Metal Alchemist shit. I love it.
Oh my god. Well, it beats being phased out of existence, so yes, fine. Just hit me with the cabinet.
Marvelous. He just kind of like crushes it over both of us.
Amazing.
Covered in dust, and he goes, I'll catch you after this heist is done, and you best be wearing a dog collar. Quentin vanishes. He just chameleon camos and disappears, just leaving you going like, what the fuck?
Amazing. Matt Baker, you're covered in debt.
Right, run in with the note.
His clothes.
Knock on the right toilet door.
Amazing.
I open it. What is this?
There's no time.
You didn't say anything.
No, I thought he did.
Oh no! Wait, Matt Baker?
You were there.
Reality takes a point of damage, but it's fine. It's close enough.
Now time to explain. Just take that. Bye.
Sometime later, a
Amazing.
fight starts in the executive ballroom, and again, Predator camoing out of nowhere, which explains why the body actually just kind of showed up now, I guess. Just grabs Daniel and throws him into the ceiling.
Yeah, I will say you don't have to roll for that because you have a gorilla arms and you're very, very strong.
And just kind of, excuse me, dusts himself off. Is like, right, that's 2 for 2 on Media Bastards. Chameleon camos away, and the timeline is now secure.
Amazing.
At least for Quentin.
Yeah.
And my timeline is secure as well, thanks to Matt Baker. Oh, but Matt Baker has to get back still, right?
We all have to get back.
You all have a jump. I think you can
Jump back to the present.
I'll
as it
go
were.
land.
I've jumped back already.
Yeah.
What I'm going to say?
No, but there was a whole jump back with the group of us.
What I'm going to say is
Matt Baker took
sorry.
everyone.
jump back to the present.
Mhm.
So you're all in the same timeline with the plane. I will say the plane is temporarily landed so that everyone can
I landed.
make sure everyone's on board. Security's going wild at this point because this is after the heist is done.
really good at
Everyone's
planes
"Oh,
now."
God, quite a shift. And you all take off again on the seaplane.
And then,
You're flying back to London.
yeah,
Yeah.
Stephanie
You
goes home.
arrive back, go back.
Hi, Mum.
Bye,
Hi,
go back.
Dad. I really want to be a pilot. I think I'm going to train to be a pilot. So, pays well, see the world. Specialize in seaplanes, I think.
If that's what you want, darling, we will support you.
Great. Thanks.
Never shown any interest before. Do you think
No.
this is
Hmm?
something that would suit your? Because you like computers and things, don't you, dear?
I like, yeah, but planes have computers, Mum. How stupid are you?
Oh, right. I didn't. Yeah, I suppose they do. Yeah,
Right. So,
you know so much these days, kids. They know everything, don't
yeah,
they?
well, we have the internet. We're not old fossils like you. So, I love you. And then goes back up to her room.
Over the next 2 decades,
15 years. Yeah.
15,
15, 16 years.
16 years, Stephanie's parents support her in her dream.
She also does a lot of hacking on the side. Like, a lot.
Okay, right.
But But yeah,
At one point,
mostly-
you sort of
mostly plain.
don't pass an exam, but then you hack it so that you just tweak the results so it looks like you
Precisely.
did. So it's fine.
She particularly
Um,
trains at like throwing things out of planes, being able to
Mm.
catch them. And
yeah.
and then
Wonderful.
one day she's just walking down, I don't know, Oxford Street. She looks in and she sees a suit in the window, and she's like,
Oh.
"Oh, it's beautiful. It's that one." And she goes in, spends all the money. It's ridiculously overpriced. And she's like, "No, it's great. I'll look hot." And all these years watching Matt Baker get older on the telly, getting sadder and sadder as he gets older, and being like, "I'll see you again, Matt. It'll be fine. I'll see all of you again." And does she take the Crota ship? Does she have the where's the Crota ship go while all this happens? I guess we all kind of have to stay friends.
Sure.
I figured it
Or
was
do
the
I
kind
just-
of thing where you touch it and get the chrono shift
You have the
ability.
power.
You have one remaining, you have one jump that you still have.
Well, I wanted it for other reasons, not just that, but
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was going to try and fix a few
no,
things.
I think we should all still be friends, and we have it in a secret place where we can all
Yeah,
go and
you
touch
use
it
it
whenever.
to
Yeah.
fulfill all your
Yeah.
evil schemes.
Yeah, you
Otherwise-
recharge by
Yeah,
touching it, and then you
Yeah,
can do
cool.
a jump again. It makes
And then
sense.
it
Time
gets, let's say it
slides.
gets like the day before, and like I call everyone, and I'm like, "Everyone, it's tomorrow. I'm gonna be fully qualified. The suit fits. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna steal the plane."
Mm.
And so if you're not here in a few, I cannot do this voice. Actually, I think she talks like this now. Actually, I think
Oh, you've
and-
mellowed out
yeah,
as you've
she's
aged. Yes,
fully-
gracefully.
she's sexy now. She's hot, and I want to be very, very clear. And she goes, I'll see you all when you were younger, and good luck. Hope we don't all phase out of existence, eh?"
Quentin has probably done a significant amount of splicing to himself by then. He looks pretty easy. He looks still pretty human. I think he's now like onyx, like obsidian,
Oh.
Oh, I thought you meant like,
like
a Pokemon.
dark. No,
You're a big
what?
rock snake.
Why?
Yeah, I don't know why my mind just went straight there.
What animal is Matt Baker spliced with, out of interest?
Oh, I like the idea that it is actually what breed of dog was it again?
The sheepdog.
Is it
Yeah,
called a
yeah,
collie?
yeah.
Obviously, Matt Baker.
I think Quentin was kind to you, and you have the kind of like furry Genshin Impact dog boy kind of energy. So you have the big fluffy ears and like a tail, but otherwise you're still humanoid.
I'm not going to lie. You both, I think you look better before, but I'll see you again. So,
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, darling.
absolutely, I look fantastic. I say, looking at myself in the mirror. And Rafiz, how's it all going? How's
Oh,
the
it's
twin?
okay, it's nice to see you guys every now and then. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, we live together. Actually, we have a
Oh,
nice little house
good.
down near Brighton. Yeah, it's quite nice.
lovely. Oh well,
I
send my
know.
love. I'm going to go now and steal a. Oh, actually, wait, hang on. No, I've got a seaplane.
You own a plane at
Yeah,
I
this
must
point.
own
Yeah,
a
yeah,
seaplane.
yeah.
She definitely owns She owns like
Yeah.
20. She's like, I think it was that one. And gets in the seaplane, takes off, and flies over the island. What's the island like in like 15 years from now?
It's submerged due to climate.
That's fine. I just have to be vaguely in the area.
That's basically, well, it's a good thing it's a seaplane because you would
It's
be just
volcanic.
skimming on top
Yeah, yeah.
of the water.
Yeah.
otherwise.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Oh, you've got to
And,
get underwater to get.
No, I have to be up high.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
And then
Yeah,
you
yeah.
And then I hang the hooks down. I send them down, Krona shift back, and
jump back. I'm gonna say one final D12 roll because
here we go, everyone.
the situation with the
This is it.
hooks is complex.
Yeah.
Mm.
Come on, Bates.
16
You've been rolling
years of
so
training.
well.
You need an
16
8
years.
to succeed. What did you just roll?
Was it wrong?
Oh, no!
One.
No.
One. At this point, for one.
Oh,
Hmm.
God.
It had to happen.
Point. You dive
She's
down.
been practicing so hard.
Got the hooks going. Go for this hook, and it just slips from the nose.
No. No.
The other seaplane crashes into it.
Yes, no,
Much
because in
later.
that point, like Quentin is out in the garden and watching the plane like fly over, and with it no longer being lifted, it now just crashes into the ground instead, and probably directly into Quentin.
Yeah, you. I think
Final
there's a moment
destination.
in rea-
Sean, we can't hear you. You're too far away from the mic.
Sorry, there's a moment in reality where the reality is this burning wreck that takes out Matt and past Stephanie and Dr. Shelby, at which point reality sort of writhes, trying to fix itself, trying to find the one thing that can happen. And I'm going to say all of you vanish from existence.
Absolutely.
The
Seems
universe
fair.
needs to purge the defects.
As the plane like zooms in, Quentin's kind of like, well, at least I died hot, and then just explodes.
Stephanie goes, I never got to be attractive.
Meanwhile, the Stephanie flying the seaplane just fades away, and the seaplane just fades away as well. And where all of you were, now none of you ever existed, and that is where we're going to end.
Mission failed.
Yeah, get him next time.
So I know, I'm really sorry it was a natural one though.
That was great. I love that. That's a great ending.
Bad
Hell
roll.
yeah.
Bad dice.
You rolled so well for the whole.
That
Yeah, you
The
really
whole
did.
game.
I knew it was
The whole
coming.
game. It was. I was like, it's going to be low, but hopefully it's not like crazy low.
Low reality breaking low. It was reality was on had 3 stress or whatever it is at that point. So 3 points of damage. Amazing. Right, we have overruns. We need to wrap up very, very quickly. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Thank you for to my wonderful players. I'm gonna go around and just ask you very, very quickly if you can just say who you are, what you do, and where people can find you on your various social medias or anything else you want to plug, starting with Ali.
My name's Ali, and you can find me at Ali Heart Science on Twitter, or one word. That's it.
Lovely. Simon?
I'm Simon. I mostly do YouTube stuff. If you search for Simon Clark on YouTube, you'll find me. I think the video that's coming out this week, it will have just come out, is a video about a PhD student in the Netherlands who is studying photosynthesis and a plan to potentially revolutionize how we grow crops.
It will have already just come out. Wonderful. And Emily?
Yes, hello, I'm Emily Bates. I make science videos. You can find me on Twitter at Emily_W_Bates. And that's what I do. What's happening when this comes out? Oh, it's only a few days from now, isn't it? Time magic. It's about to go to Scotland. Follow
Nice.
New Scientist on either Instagram or TikTok, and you'll probably see me hopefully on a boat, hopefully with whales in the background.
Oh my god.
Fairly soon. So that's good. Yeah.
Finally, a very, very special guest. Thank you so much. What an absolute star, Nathan Blades. Tell the people where they find more of you.
I am once again and for always your androgynous android game show host from the future, Nathan Blades. You can find me on Twitter at PhantomArtsEnt. That's PhantomArtsEnt. And also on Twitch at twitch.tv/the Neoncaster. At the time that this airs, you can go catch me tomorrow, which will be the Thursday at 7:30 p.m. British Standard Time. We'll be playing Mega Man Battle Network 3. It's one of my favorite games ever. Please do hang out with us.
Fantastic.
Shamini, plug yourself.
I've been Shamini at Espandel on Twitter. And of course, please also follow, support, and subscribe the RP Geeks, all the TTRPG, D&D, and a little bit sciencey stuff that we do. We are at RP Geeks DND on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok.
Love a
Instagram.
consistent reporting.
And next week we
have
are
a podcast.
live with You Are Not Around, Shamini.
Phasmophobia.
Well, the plan is
Nice.
Phasmophobia. We'll see if it works.
I'm scared. I've paid for it, so we're doing it.
Okay, we're doing it.
Also, we should also plug Time Heist and who that's by.
God, of
Shamini.
course. I'm so sorry. Yeah, thank you, Emily.
I was
So-
messaging you on WhatsApp like plug Time Heist,
I'm
plug
not.
Time Heist.
Man, it was
yes,
an
so-
amazing game.
Isn't it good though? I want to play it again. I'm not
definitely.
satisfied.
Definitely.
I think you could break it more.
Really,
She says
really
having
good.
rolled a 1 and
Yeah,
destroyed
I would.
everyone,
I
but-
would run this so many times. Time Heist is an excellent draw game. I'm reading things and then saying them. It's an excellent
It's
game
late.
that you can buy on itch.io. If you look up roll, flip, draw, all the 3 words mashed together, you can find a whole bunch of awesome TTRPG games, including Time Heist, and play it for yourself. It's fantastic.
What would
great.
future you do?
Great
Sounds like a
reality.
problem for future me.
We only said that once.
we forgot. Thanks so much, everyone, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Farewell. Goodbye.
If I can find the right screen, keep waving, people.
Bye.